after we separated, my former husband, the women who were married, some of them, they cut ties like this. They start feeling like now you're becoming, they start doubting even your morals. The wives feel like now you are a threat. You can nyakua the husband. Widowed women don't want to be associated with single mothers. Them they say, wetu walikufa, ni Mungu aliseparate. Wenyu muliwaacha. Someone queried, why are we not promoting Joyce? And whoever gave the answer said, she's a single mother, she needs this job. Whether we promote her or not, she's not going anywhere. Are you getting the notion? This is a single woman. So whether we promote her or not, she really needs this job. So she's not going anywhere. And you're like, really? Okay, what if I was married? Would I have been promoted? Yes, I can tell you. Yes.
I see this a lot. These kids are so stubborn because they've been brought up by a single mom. There was no father figure.
It's another miracle that God alinifanyia. I prayed. You get desperate. You're imagining these kids, like you're saying, if people see them out there misbehaving, sini watoto wa single mother. Are you getting? So they have no morals. They have no... Our watoto, when anything happens, they will always come back to you. What's the best that you can do? Commit them to the Lord.
These are friendships that go way back.
Yes.
How are you guys still so strong?
The ones with Akina Will Brother,
yes,
we formed it because we were in the same industry. And we were receiving a lot of negative vibes. On some days, Will Brother, we would wake up and tell me, Aki Joyce, how do we deal with this negativity kwa mtandao, And then maybe a day after, I'm the one calling Jerry down. Did you see what happened? Have you seen the way nimetukanwa? Then it's me who realized we had a common issue. We needed each other's support. Keep telling people, marry your friend.
Yes.
When everything else doesn't work, the friendship remains.
Guys, you say that again.
Yes, when everything else fails, the friendship remains. Because when someone is your friend, it doesn't matter what happens between you two. That element of friendship keeps things going.
A very good morning to you and a warm welcome to LNS Rebuilding Series. My name is Lynn Ngugi. Najua we are almost done with January, but I hope everyone is keeping up well. I hope things are actually a bit flexible on your end, and I hope you are continuing to rebuild your life one way or another. Honestly, I'm excited about my guest today. Anajua chenye amefanya, lakini that's a story for another day, but I'm so excited about getting to host her, and I know a lot of you may have heard about her story, career, marriage, all that, but I was really looking forward to hosting someone who will be able to talk to us about, going back to the dating pool, cultivating healthy female friendships. I see her female friendships and I'm just like, oh my goodness. They say when women vouch for each other, so many good things happen, and also the art of forgiveness and just showing up for who you really are. She's one of those people who will go on record for having paved the way for so many of us. I mean, you cannot talk about media without her name. She's done splendid work and she still continues. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, Joyce, how did you get to do this for such a long time? And even us who are in the media space right now, what are some of the things that we really need to look out for so we don't end up messing what we have been able to build for ourselves? I'm about to let her introduce herself and just encourage us with her story. I see the kids and I'm just like, this is so blessed. Like, she could have chosen to give up. She could have chosen to take another route, but she chose, to stay and have a beautiful friendship with her kids. And we are all getting inspired by them uko online. But now, before I let her introduce herself, a girl has to pay a couple of bills here. here. I want to say thank you so much to our official partners of today's conversation, Kings Developers Limited. Thank you so much for all the support you are showing my people there. And I keep saying, if you are looking into owning a home, an apartment with an ISO certified company, why don't you try my people at Kings Developers Limited? They have various properties for you that range, whether you want something for 4M or 20M, they have you guys covered. And always feel free to leave me your feedback through my email or also on the comment section about Kings Developers Limited. And of course, to say thank you so much to you guys, 800k subscribers. This has been a journey of low vibrations, high vibrations, medium vibrations, whatever vibrations, guys. But God, we've walked this journey together, and I appreciate you. I do this first because this is God's gift to me, and also because you guys have been way too supportive. And also to my team, Muga, Edgar, Scholar, and the incredible people at LNN for making this content happen. And now, without further ado, please allow me to let this woman, a role model, an amazing human being. She came in and her energy iko tu sawa. Like me, I move with energy. Now just allow me to let her introduce herself. Good morning.
Morning. Lynn, you're making me feel like Mrs. Obama, bana.
Because you are.
Thank you.
Because you
I
are.
claim it.
You know why? Because I know you've also struggled with imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's hard for you to take your flowers.
Yes.
But on this show, you will take your flowers, whether you like it or not. I had a specific introduction to the conversation. Wage turo. Mama Jakes.
Oh my God.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Karibu sana.
Very excited to be here.
Yes.
Let me start by telling you, I've been your fan, your follower, since the days of Tuko.
Oh.
I started following you when you were doing a sad story about a lady. I think she had lost her arm or something. She had been hurt while working for a
Chinese company.
Exactly. And then you followed up, and then wakawafukuza. And then from there, I think I started following you. When you left Tuko, I was a bit disappointed. I was like, guy, where is she going to? And then nikasikia you've started your own thing, and I was like, yes, this is what we need. We need more women up there, women entrepreneurs, women who are running their business. Because as a woman, and especially in this Kenya, though we are getting somewhere, tumefinywa for so long. So when I see a woman, anasimama with a business, a woman who is strong, a woman who is focused, I get very encouraged.
Aww.
Yeah, so, and since then, I've always followed your content. Very nice. Sometimes I feel like you, there's one specific one I'll tell you about.
Please, go on.
The Mokorino.
Yes.
The one who came, the dad to
David.
Exactly.
Of World Bank.
Yes. Then he mentioned about people loving and loving genuinely. And I could see you, yes, tell them. And I was like, God.
Yeah.
You know, you bring out the girl in you.
Oh.
Yes. I saw a girl who is excited about love. And of course, so many questions went through my mind.
Like?
Is it that she's appreciating because she's been loved nicely in the right way? Or she's appreciating because, she wishes. But I could tell, yes. Yeah, she was appreciating because she's been loved nicely.
Yeah.
And I think I enjoy your content. I am your number one fan.
Aww.
Just know that. In my house, it's either Lynn, News, Netflix.
Oh.
And of course, I listen to the word of God a lot. I'm a believer, child of God, work in progress, forgiven, because if you're not forgiven by God, you can't go anywhere. Yeah, so I sit here to introduce myself. My name is Joyce Gituro. Gituro, Mama Jakes, Mama Rachel, Mama Walter. I'm a mother of 3. I'm a sister to many. An auntie to many as well, a friend. And I can proudly say I'm also a single mother. Yes. I wasn't born a single mother. that is a whatever I acquired much later in life. That was not my plan.
Yeah.
But where it has gotten to, I'm proud to be a single mother.
Okay.
Yes, doing great things single-handedly. Yeah, so sijui unataka we start my story from
me,
where?
I have, imagine, I said that I won't even practice, I won't even go deeper, whatever God has made for us.
Yes.
Of course, I have the basics. I know where the
and
conversation.
nothing about my marriage.
Because, and I love that. Honestly, you remember when we were talking
Yes.
and then we were like, guys, her marriage story, I believe you can find it on my friend's channel.
It's all over.
Kagoni.
Yes.
It's also in your
with Jeff,
platform with
even
Jeff
on Semana JG.
Semana G, it's there. So guys, you can go and find it there. But before we get into your story, when I meet women like you who went ahead of people like us, I'm always intrigued to, because sometimes I remember I was hosting, I think it's Philip Karanja, field director, either field director or Eugene Bugwa, and we were talking about criticism, and we were like, be careful who you take feedback from.
Yes.
So for me, I would love to take feedback from you about my content. What am I doing right and what am I doing wrong? Not wrong, because you can never willingly do something wrong.
Sure.
What are the key areas of improvement? And I'm asking you the same way I would ask the late Catherine Kasavuli, Sophie Kenye, women who I grew up, people like Pinky, people who I look at the footsteps you've left behind. So what do you genuinely think? And don't sugarcoat.
I'm not sugarcoating anything. Having been in the media for over 20 years and worked as head of radio and interacting with different people and guiding them, mentoring them, I think the first thing I'll tell you, you're doing a good job.
Okay.
I like your kind of guests.
Yes.
There was a time you were doing your interviews and following up.
Yes, the follow-ups.
Yes. They were very good. But also now, from a professional point of view, I would feel like sometimes you're getting off topic. Okay. Like we started with finding out, there was this guy, alikuwa amejenga nyumba ya some prominent people.
Molding Alex.
Yes. And we followed up the story.
Yeah.
At the end of the story, there's this question you usually ask yourself, okay, so what was the story here? We've seen Alex, we've seen what he has done, we've seen he's built a nice house back at home.
Yeah.
What is my takeout? Number one, my number one takeout, of course, was that he's using his money well.
Good.
He's doing something with his money.
Yes.
What I lacked in that story is something that a younger person, okay, here I am, this is Alex, this is what I've done, this is how I've saved my money.
Yes.
And moving forward, this is how I can help. Because I asked myself, okay, fine, Alex has done a good job.
Yes.
I wish the ending of this story would have been, I can help one or two people. I can transform, because we're in a field where the information we have is supposed to transform, to help, to move forward. So my question was, I wish, this is a really nice story, but then what?
What? You wish he would have
said,
exactly someone.
Exactly, one or two. Just mentoring people. You don't have to use your finances.
Yes.
But what is it how have I transformed the society using this story? Number one, of course, there are people who are really impressed and encouraged that you can get from somewhere, so from bottom
to top.
Exactly. Take advantage of the opportunities we get, because in this life, it's about opportunities.
Yes.
What you do with it, with the opportunity you've gotten, it's up to you.
Yes.
And the opportunities don't come twice.
Yes.
The lucky ones, yes. But more often than not, it's just once. So that was my...
Your gap.
Yes.
The gap.
But now when you started bringing us to the studio and dealing with us here and leaving us here, I can tell you for sure, your content is good. I'm not stopping you from doing the follow-ups. Actually, sometimes you wish, what if this person and their story, what if we saw
more.
Exactly. But for me, the follow-ups were good, but I used to ask myself, okay, fine, we followed up this story.
Where is
how exactly?
That's a beautiful challenge.
That was the only thing
that you felt was missing.
Yes.
So would you recommend, if I bring, especially for the Inspire Global content,
Yes.
because these are people who have done incredible things in their business, would you recommend I challenge them to mentor someone? Because I feel like people like Eric of Maridadi is doing an incredible job at that.
Very good.
And I know we are going for Alex. He has a beautiful house of his own right now. We were actually gonna go and do the unveiling, what they call it. So I'll pose a challenge to him.
Yes.
Even if it's LNN or our community people who can sponsor 2 young men to be mentored under him. That's a good one.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Let's just start changing the world in our own small way.
Yes.
Because I believe if we do that, that is what will change the whole world. Start with the small, whatever that you have.
Good.
In your area, back at home in Shags, what is it? Just that a small thing that you are doing to change the lives of 1 or 2 people. I believe it's a good challenge for all of us.
Yes.
Sometimes I fail. I don't always do it. But I try as much as I can. I'll tell you for sure. I go out of my way sometimes. And when I don't have. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes knowledge is as easy as giving someone 1 or 2, 3 tips.
Yes. And also mentoring the young journalists. Like I have a group of about 20 I work with. Yes. I just mentor them. Because in this field, and you know it, Lynn.
Hey, the gatekeepers though.
For some of us, hatukuwa na mentors. We were thrown to the deep sea. You know, swim your way up. Yeah. That's what happened to some of us. And it was really hard, quite hard. But we made it. Yeah, we made it. I'll tell you, it has been a journey. Sisi ni watu wa kuanzia KBC, baba na mama.
Yes, wataifa.
Yes. And I keep telling people, mimi sijaitafuta kazi, Lynn. I've never written an application, kazi ya media, ya kutangaza. I've never. Because I went to KBC, nikapewa role, Tausi. That time I was like a young, nice, beautiful chick.
You are still beautiful.
So I played the role of Maya, Baraza's sister.
Yes.
I was like a spoiled small girl. Then while I was there, women rep, the former women rep wa Muranga, Sabina, we were together in Tausi. And she moved to Kameme. And she was very good in Kikuyu. Hey, and she told me, she used to tell me, just you have a voice for radio. So when she called me to Kameme, I told her, Kikuyu, hey, I can do the spoken one, like not the broadcast one.
Yes.
So anyway, long story short, I trained how to do some of those Kikuyu things. But in the process, they noticed my voice and they had a Kiswahili segment. So I used to be like a station voice. And while I was there, Citizen opened, Radio Citizen. And again, I was called. So it was when I got to Citizen that I decided, hey, Joyce, up your game. Go back to school. Do 1, 2, 3 things. There was a time I used to work for 2 stations. Inoro, FM, and Radio Citizen. So I would be Joyce Gituro on Radio Citizen. And then Inoro almost immediately.
Yes.
And I would be Wairimoa Gituro. Oh. And let me tell you, I hacked it.
Hey.
I did. I would leave. I used to start with Radio Citizen, then I would go to, till I got to a point I told my boss, apana. Hata kama ni
pesa.
Hata si pesa. Oh, nani alikuwa nakulipa pesa mingi? Oh my God. Mimi sisemi ati sikuwa nalipwa. Si pesa ni kutaka, like trying to do everything, being everything. There's no way nita give my best if I'm doing Kikuyu, I'm doing Swahili. But by that time, it's the owners of the company that had insisted that I do that.
Yeah.
they still believed I would perform in Kikuyu.
Yes.
And they wanted to listen to my Kikuyu, but unfortunately I couldn't go ahead. So I made a choice. I decided to remain at Radio Citizen. Because Swahili is almost like my first language. Because tulilelewa in Rift Valley. And we are Kikuyus.
Eldoret.
Yes, in Eldoret. So watu tulicheza nao, watu tuligrow nao, watu tulisoma nao. When we were young, tulikuwa Central. But now when we went to Eldoret, hatukuwa na choice.
Yes, you gotta mix up.
Yes, ilibidi to learn Swahili. And I think I developed some interest. And when I went to secondary school, TBO Girls, kindly note, TBO Girls. It was a very prestigious school then. When we went to TBO Girls, I was among the first students kualikwa kwa Swahili Congress.
Yes.
It was in Nairobi. And it's because nilikuwa nimekariri mashairi hadi kiwango cha national level na ninasahau. Yes. So I was invited for the first Swahili Congress. And so I developed interest in Swahili. Sijasomea Kiswahili ati in university, no. Kiswahili changu nilisomea hadi form 4. University, I did something different.
Yeah. So you developed just
an interest.
An interest.
Yes, an interest in Swahili. Because I realized there was a gap. Wale wanajua, I don't know, kama hapa watu tuko nao wanajua Esther Githui.
Yes.
Siku hizi kanaitwa Esther Githui Yuwat. Kalikuwa kanaitwa Esther Githui. She used to do Swahili news. Mimi nilikuwa nakaa chini hivi na mwangalia nasema kinaweza kufika tu kama Esther. Nifike tu kama Esther. And I think hiyo ndio ilifanya nikaanza my interest. Most ladies walikuwa natoka college, they wanted to be English broadcasters. So nikaona kampenyo ka Swahili.
Identify a gap.
Yes, exactly.
In everything.
Yeah, that's the gap that I saw. Nani, I ran with it. Yeah.
In
and
everything. I love that. Like in everything, learn to identify where the
gap
is.
Yes.
And look at how it served you.
Totally. I will tell you today I'm where I am because I got a platform to do what my friend Machoka usually says he's paid to have fun.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I also got a platform to work in radio. That's something I really wanted to do. And I never felt like I was working in any single day. Nilikuwa na enjoy kazi yangu to a point where it didn't feel like work. No. In fact, when I left RMS, so many people were shocked. Some people were worried. Tutaenda aje bila Joyce because nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya kujitolea. But I had told God, and sometimes when you pray, kumbuka chenye unaombea. I used to tell God, you know, I don't want to be 50 years na nimeandikwa. I want to, by the time I'm 50, nataka nikue
independent.
Exactly, na niko na kazi yangu ninafanya. And you know that's what God did. I used to tell God, I hit 50 like this, mimi ni CEO wa kampuni yangu. And I left Royal Media when I was 46, yeah. Yeah.
After serving for 20 years.
Yes.
You left.
Yes. And at 50, I'll tell you, before 50, at 49, I had set up my own company, PR company.
Yes.
And thank you, my clients, asanteni sana. And I can't regret. Where I am today, I make my money. God has been so faithful. And I remember in 2019 when I was quitting employment at MediaMax, I prayed. I told God, you know, I really must leave. And God, as I leave, you know, it's just me and my kids. I'm the breadwinner. I don't know where I'm going, but I will resign. I prayed about my resignation for like a month. Every morning telling God, you need to talk to me.
Yeah.
And Lynn, let me tell you, God speaks. I remember that one day and I say, this is God. You know the way you're praying and you get some assurance that I will be with you. I will take care of you. You're even asking, God, are you sure? You know, I have bills to pay, I have kids, and I'm a single mother, God. And that assurance, the assurance I felt that morning when I was praying, gave me the courage to go and resign, because things were they were getting so hot at MediaMax. And I just told my boss, even my boss at MediaMax was shocked. I told him, I'm going to resign. He called me aside and he asked me, Joyce, you are a single mother. How are you going to survive? I told him I will. And then he told me, no, let me give you 3 weeks. Take a break. Go think if you really, really want to resign. And I went home. 3 weeks later, I went back and I told him, Ken, I've made up my mind. I want to resign. And he was like, okay. He even offered a different position. And I told him, apana Ken. Because I was very sure, Lynn, that was God. God had assured me. And let me tell you, in 2024, I quit in 2019. 5 years later, sijashika pesa yenye in my many years in employment, sijashika pesa yenye nimeshika
in those
5 years. I stayed in media for so long. Okay, I had invested in different places, but sikuwa na a place I could call a home. Nimejenga a home after I left. So I used to sit down and tell God, I don't know what to tell you, but I just want to learn to trust you.
Yes.
And to know when you are speaking, because to date, God has never let me down. God has always worked with me and he's provided. Lynn, as a single mother, upeleke watoto wawili USIU na mwingine Daystar, na huyo wa Daystar muko na yeye Daystar.
Yes.
That is God. It's only God who can do that. The things I've been able to do after I left, I quit employment. I'm not telling anyone to quit, but I'm just saying, when you listen to the voice of God and you're very sure that's God, and you have faith, and you trust that God is going to do it, God does it. Let me tell you. Mimi nilikuwa nakaa namkumbusha namwambia, God, it's your word. Inasema you are the father
to the fatherless,
and the husband to
the
widows. So here I am. I'm your widow with a living husband. And
and so, he's doing his thing.
Yes, God. Here is your widow. A husband is still alive.
Yes.
And yes, and these kids, their father is alive. So they're not fatherless. Their father is still alive. But God, these are your kids.
Yes.
And I've seen God do it for me.
I love that. I don't want to touch on your marriage. I just want a clarification on the God part. Again, guys, her story on marriage is out there.
Yes.
Your husband left for the church.
He left me in church.
He left you in church.
Yes. He's the one who introduced me to salvation.
Yes.
And I want to put a disclaimer. I don't want to say, munisamehe, ati Catholics don't get saved.
Yeah.
That I cannot even discuss it here. But me, I was brought up a Catholic. But the person who led me to these other, what are they called? Protestant churches, the evangelical churches. Ni yeye alinishika mkono. And I think when I was first introduced to something called salvation by my own baby, I think something just happened in my spiritual life. I loved this other side. But I tell you, as I speak here, si hakuna Mungu wa Wakatoliki na Mungu wa madhehebu mengine. We serve one God. We have personal relationships with God. But what I can say, he made me get deeper into the word of God.
Yes.
Yes, and then some church came up. He took me to that church, and luckily, nikapata ile spirit of discernment. And I just told him, no, this one, no.
It's not working.
Unfortunately, he didn't listen, and things happened. Akapotelea huko akaenda akiendaga.
Yes, akiendanga.
Yeah, but I personally don't have any grudge at all Actually, there was a time I called him kitambo tu, and I forgave him. And I told him, you know what? I've forgiven you. Because I realized I was so bitter. Sinaga ubaya na yeye. At all. Actually, let me shock you, Lynn. When my daughter started earning, I told her, you have to give your dad something. When Jake started earning, I told him, Jakes, you have to remember your dad. I don't care kama he has been present or not. Just give him, ile ya kwenda kuomba baraka. Here I am, Dad, I've started earning. This is my first fruit. I want you to bless me. Yes, I encourage them to do that. Lakini si ya mazoea.
Yeah.
Ni hiyo tu ya baraka. Hii ingine ni ya watoto wangu wajibambe.
So they know how to put the boundaries.
They are friends. They talk.
No, money boundaries.
Yes,
because then
that
some
one,
parents
that one.
also, because I've struggled also on this show, matters, black tax and parents who claim because I gave birth to you, you gotta help me later on. So they know how to, they've established the boundaries,
Yes.
even for you.
Totally. Like I don't ask for anything from in any case.
Yes.
Au ndio unitoanisha watoto wangu. I don't, when they give me, nachukua. But I never ask for, my joy would be to see them thrive, start their own things, establish themselves. I've supported where I can. Kuna mmoja hata nilipatia nyumba. Nikamwambia, take one of these, of places. My whatever, of my houses, chukua hiyo, ikusaidie, so that you don't pay rent. Establish yourself. And move on. Sisi tu kupata nafasi kama hiyo. So I usually say, let me see how I can help. But sitakusaidia unilete kichwa ngumu. Hapana, nitakunyang'anya.
I'll take it back.
I will take it back. Itakuwa yangu. But where I can,
you help.
I help. Nataka ni Mungu akiniwezesha niwashike mkono until wasimame.
Good.
Because some of us we struggled at some point. Tuli struggle. But who is God?
Who is God, So you're still you have that deep connection with God, regardless of the fact for your marriage to end, there was also a God at the center.
Yes, but kuna time nilimuweka kando.
Who, God?
Yes. Lynn, it is very hard. Umeolewa, umeenda, umeokoka. You've known God in a deeper way. And then, this person, my former husband, niliacha kumwita my husband, because he's not happily married, I released him. My former husband would preach watu wanaokoka. He would lead people to God. So nilikuwa naiona kama kipawa. Then so many people were admiring me. This lady is married to a guy who knows the Lord, wanatuona kwa kanisa, tumesmile na watoto wetu. And then, maybe I didn't have this deep connection with God. This is the guy mwenye amenichukua, amenilid to Christ. And then he leaves me. Ushaona zile vitu unajua? Huyu haizi niacha. Huyu tuwezi wachana.
It's ungodly.
Yes, I got angry with God. Though later niliomba msamaha sana na nililia, and I know God forgave me because he's a faithful God. Nili backslide. For like 3 years. Sikuwa nataka kusikia mtu ananiambia Mungu. Hata ni 3 ama 4. And I went into drinking properly. Lynn.
For real?
Drinking ile yenye unaamka asubuhi. Wachana na watu usema ati mtu anakunywa ati na anafanya kazi. Mine was bad. It was totally bad. Let me tell you. I got bitter with God. Nashindua, then watu wanatakaga aje, jameni. I didn't want to hear anything about God for some time. Even watu wenye tulikuwa nao kanisani, wakijaribu kuniongelesha staki, nashindua. You guys knew who my husband was because you interacted with him more. I was busy working.
Yeah.
There was a time alitolewa as the leader of the choir. And nobody told me why. So you start imagining, so watu walikuwa naniona naenda tu kanisani and they knew why. Alikuwa amesimamishwa. tulikuwa couples leaders, kumbuka sisi ndio you know. Ametolewa. Nobody is telling me what is happening. At a church nilihama. I was a bit disappointed because nili feel like everyone knew what was happening other than me. But yeah, after like 4 years, I remember going back to God and telling him, God, you have to take me as I am. Nisamehe. I took my kids, nikawashika mkono, and we went to Sitam Woodley one Sunday afternoon. And I looked for pastor. Alikuwa anaitwa Pastor Felix. And I just, you know, kujiachilia. And I cried and I told him, Pastor, pray for me. Pray for my kids. I'm losing it. And then I explained to him what was happening.
Yes.
And nikamwambia, I now want to serve God. I want to come back and just serve God. Because I've gotten to a point where I don't even know myself. You know, you make alcohol your friend. Ile yenye unakunywa kabisa. I'm not saying and
disclaimer.
I know the kind of feedback you will get on this. We will watch it and read it.
Our people are very mature and they are not judgmental. I can vouch for them.
I am not saying that everyone who drinks is not saved. That one, I hate using that, as a measurement of salvation. Number one, we are not supposed to judge anyone. We are supposed to embrace everyone and lead them to Christ. The person who knows us is God. In the book of John 11, when Jesus was going was attending to the issue of Lazarus, that whole story, when you look at it, there's something about that comes out about Jesus. When he was when he looked at the people and the way they were mourning about Lazarus, the Bible says he got to a point, even his spirit, he groaned in his spirit. If you read deeper, it's about Jesus groaning, his spirit being very disappointed because of the way people were mourning. They were mourning like hopeless people. They were mourning Lazarus. Yes, he's dead. But they were mourning like a person who has just disappeared. He's gone. He's not going to you're not going to meet him later. I mean, I don't know how to put this.
Yeah.
They were hopeless.
Faithless.
Faithless, exactly. That's the word. And I keep, every time I think about that crowd that was mourning like that, and then I look at a person who some people think is not saved, they look at them like a hopeless person, a person who doesn't even know what they're doing, but who judges people. It's only God who knows the relationship they have with this person. So anything about judging other people, I don't do it. I'll tell you for sure, Lynn, I don't know how to judge people. I don't know how to say, look at this Ed guy and the way he pretends he's a Christian.
He's a saint.
Exactly.
Yes.
The way he, you know, it's up to him, whatever Edgar is doing
with his life.
Who am I to judge? The book of James says, judge ye not, so that you'll not be judged. The only thing we can do is walk with Edgar. If he wants to open up and say, this is where I'm struggling, as a Christian, come in, help. If you're not able to help, lead him to someone else who can help. But let's stop judging people. Yeah. Let's just stop it.
Yeah.
Because I know I'll be judged.
Not really.
I will be.
Not really. And if judged, not here. Let me I don't say that lightly.
Yes.
My audience, they are the reason sometimes even when people go and say crap outside, I'm here doing the same thing over and over again. They make you feel safe. They make you feel like, so even if you get judged, not by my people.
Great.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's my message. Let's stop judging, because I keep thinking, when I was going through this depression and everything and getting into alcohol and losing hope, what was I thinking? nobody else knew. It was only me. And maybe people out there were busy judging. Yeah. And they didn't even know that I was struggling even to getting back a relationship with God. That they didn't know. But the truth is, I was struggling. And I also tried dating around that time. Lynn. I tried dating around that time. And I'll tell you, I got to a point nikasema, wow. Fadhali hata nirudi kwa ule bwana. Fadhali nirudi kwa ule bwana yangu. There's this thing about being single, a single mother. People date you differently. Lynn, I respect men when you wanaoa single mothers and their kids, and they make them their wives, and they respect them, they love their kids, and they move on, na hawana appetite ya pesa. Because sometimes you get these ones, mwenye anakuapproach, na mistari nayo, yes, na kila kitu.
Check your smile, check your dem.
Mahaga, nini, lakini ukimwangalia na ile jicho ya 18.
Yes.
Huyu ni pesa. Ni pesa anataka. So, dating as a single mother, nilishtuka. I tried dating that time, and I got into a relationship that lasted for like 2 years. Initially, it was a very good relationship with a mature person. But with time, unaanza kuona, where are we headed? This person doesn't even care kama watoto wako wako sawa. Utaki hata wape anything. Yes. But he wants your time. He doesn't want to create time for you and your kids.
Just you.
It's just you. In fact, afadhali akupatie pesa mnunulie watoi pizza mutoke mwende. You know? Afadhali, then you start thinking, kama huyo angekuwa baba ya watoto, hangefanya hivi. And then you ask yourself, where are we headed with this relationship? And then the mistake yenye most ladies make, because I also made that mistake, niyo inaitwa nini? Rebound.
Rebound.
Yes. I think I went into this relationship, nikapenda huyu. Sasa hata ujui unampendea nini, si baba ya watoto wako. Hakuoi. There's nothing between you. Niyo tu relationship. But you are totally in love with this person. In fact, wakati tuliachana with this one, I got more depressed than
oh my God, than your ex.
Than baba ya watoto. Oh. Yeah, but now after that, I think I matured. Yeah, saizi nasemaga, yenye mtu wa kukatia Joyce atakuwa amejiaminia sana. Mtu wenye anaweza kuja anikatie niingie box. I don't know.
Yeah.
Number one, you must be God-fearing. Wacha tuongee tu kweli. I don't want a person coming to pull me back to my dark days. Exactly. So, they must be God-fearing. Saizi atakuwa na bahati hana watoto wa kupenda. Watoto wangu wamesha grow.
Yes.
But my last born is 20 years.
Yeah.
So, huyo, but of course I would expect some respect. And then he has to be financially stable. Ooh. Yeah, see that Joyce ndio financially no, I'm not sponsoring anyone. Yes. So that one, mtu akaya akijua. Come with yours, tuchanganye, yes, we be companions.
Just the way we do in normal relationships. Exactly. Like bring what you got, I bring what I have, let's,
yes.
Yeah.
Ama, tuache kila mtu yake yenye yako nayo,
tuanze tena.
Yes, tuanze upya, but
prenup coming through.
Mio yati apana, that one, my mom used to say, instead of si mimi, she used to say ti mimi. So me for that one, ti mimi. That one, apana. Lynn, pesa yangu nimetafuta. I've worked for it. I'm one of those people who can stand here and say, aki yangu ni kutafuta na kuomba Mungu. Then nitafute pesa yangu hivyo, nitafutie watoto wangu. alafu nilete kimtu tu kikule.
Yeah.
Hapana yangu
But now,
no.
what happens when, you know, Muga pulls up and Muga is like, Joyce, I love you, but niko na potential.
Yeah,
I don't have the money, but I got potential.
No, your potential.
Hatukuli potential.
Sioni bila kakiru. Ekelea kakiru hapa na mimi ekelea.
Kama hiyo kakiru ita come through
Basi
you guys.
Go work hard, tutakutana baadaye.
Oh my God. Muga isa.
Wenda ufanye kazi.
Yes.
Because I'm a mother of boys and of course plus one girl. Lynn, when we sit down in my house, they know. They've seen me struggle. They've seen me educate them. They live a good life.
Yes.
But I always tell them, let me remind you, this is not the ideal way. The ideal way is for you to be responsible. Because boys watagrow up wakijua, mama yangu ndio. I keep reminding them, you must take care of your family. Wasifike mahali wakidate kadem, wakiona katoi wanashindwa WhatsApp. I mean, that's the norm kwetu. I keep reminding them, Jakes, Walter, this is not the norm. You must take care of the ladies in your life. I actually appreciate it when Walter calls me. Walter ndio kwa USIU. Yes. He's not earning. So sometimes he'll call me and tell me, Mom, nipe tu just 3K. I take my girlfriend out. I appreciate it. I send him the money. Because I want him to be the man in that relationship. Lynn, let's face it. There is no way you'll be the one providing and then respect a man. Kuna wenye wanafanya hivyo and I respect them.
Yeah.
I actually respect them. Because mimi sitakuja, mimi ndio bills. Mimi ndio mama. Mimi ndio kila kitu, kazi yote ya mchana na usiku ni mimi
ndio satisfaction.
Exactly.
Ya mchana na usiku.
Alafu amke uniambie socks yangu iko wapi? Sitatoboa.
No
sitatoboa. Unajua fadhali kuongea ukweli.
But what happened?
Nitajaribu siku 2-3 ya 4 and then even weekend unaweza nitafuta siko. Mpaka unasahau uliolewa. Na kujua hai. Kwani wewe uko unashindwa ni nani huyu? Ndio nakukumbusha ati see it's me. Who? Where are you? Me. Ni mimi unauliza niko wapi? You respect itaenda. I respect. By the way, I respect.
Yes.
Watu wenye ladies who are breadwinners. And it's not supposed to be like that. Even in the Bible, you're just supposed to be helpers.
But what happened to submitting to your man?
Submitting doesn't mean submitting with your finances. Submitting is being submissive in the house. Ile na respect. Nitakurespect. But what is the man told to do in the Bible?
Provide.
Exactly. So if I start providing, I submit. Na mimi sitaki mwanaume ana submit. No, I don't.
Sitaki wenye unauliza pams
zangu
ziko wapi.
I want a man to be a man.
Yes.
Actually, that is one of the things that would really attract me to a man. I want a man who is a man. I grew up with a dad who was able to manage 5 women.
Oh, by the way, that was like, I was listening to that. I'm like, hey, dad.
So, and my dad, hatukuwahi jua kulala njaa. We ate well. My dad alikuwa nalipa school fees ya whole year kwa watoto wote. Yearly. Sijaiona mama yangu akisema tunakula nini. No. My dad was a very responsible man. Then mimi nitaanza kulanu wapi kuprovidea. Yes, I saw my mom being provided for. In fact, sisi tulianza kusaidia my mom after my dad died. My mom hakuwa anajua pencil kununua. Sisi ndio now we had to come in tunamwambia mom, we need to buy this, we need to buy this, we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Otherwise, my dad was very, very responsible. And they say, women tunatakaga wanaume wanakaa kama baba zetu.
Yes.
So tell me, mimi nitaanza aje? I don't know how to do it. And then of course, let's give credit where
credit is
exactly due. My former husband, Sammy, was also very, very responsible. I'll tell you, he spoiled me. Kumbuka, he was a jango. So Alini lifestyle. Sammy Alini spoiled. Sammy, at hata kama tuliachana, there are things he used to do for me zenye I don't know. He took care of us. Yes, he went out of his way kutafutia familia yake. So saizi, there is no way nitaanza kulearn to be a man. Yeah. Yes, I'm already a man in my house because based on responsibilities. But I don't know how to become a man in a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll not be a man in a relationship.
But you can do 50-50, where I bring, you bring. We can do 50-50.
That one, I don't have a problem.
80-20?
No, not Joyce. Hata 50-50 nitakuwa nimestruggle.
Yes.
Let's tuachane ni na mambo ya kuchange some of the things.
The traditions.
Yes, na tutaki kuchange everything. Yeah? That man, when you start taking care of him, wakati wa kwenda kulipa mahari, ni pesa utampatia akakulipia mahari ama what will happen?
Some people do that to respect.
To respect what? I ain't doing that.
Period.
Lynn,
And that's on period.
No.
Yeah.
Call me old school, call me whatever
Yes.
you want to call me. A man has to treat a lady right. In fact, siri ya mwanaume kuishi maisha mazuri katika ndoa is just treating their ladies right. I'm not talking about giving them money. Nini. Just be a responsible man.
Provide.
You will see venye huyo nani atajinyenyekeza. Yes. It happens naturally. So, me this thing of, I struggle with that. That's what I keep asking myself. Okay, fine. I've met this person. They're not financially stable. We are not at the same level. He's trying. But the next question I ask myself, okay, fine. Then what? Am I going to get to his level so that we start? I'm sorry, I'm a Christian, but on that one, I find it like a struggle. Yeah, that one and age. I'm not dating a young man.
Oh, no. Guys, I hope you are taking notes. Niliona, I don't know if it's Jeff's interview. I was watching, and then on the comments, someone asked, ako ready kwa ka Ben 10. I'll do it.
Siwezi. Ben 10 mi siwezi. Ben 10, mimi ni mama ya boys.
Yes.
Uyo Ben 10, wataambia na nini na my son Walter? No, for me, you call me old school, call me anything. Mimi there are things I look at. Nasema, sasa Ben 10. Amenifurahisha, amenipea kila kitu. Na mama yenu ana glow.
But,
hiyo nyumba tutaishi aje? I have a son who is your age mate. For heaven's sake. Mutaambiana aje? Kama mwanamke hata ukidate mwanaume mwenye ako older by 5 years.
yes.
Bado unamwangaliaga unaona ako na utoto. Bado unamwangaliaga unaona Yeah, so for me nimeambia Mungu anisaidie sana. In fact, let me tell you how I pray.
Yeah, okay, good.
I tell God.
Yes.
God, your word says, you know the plans
I have for you.
Yes. Plans for prosperity. I tell God, because you already have plans for my life. I'm sure kwa hiyo plan wewe unajua kama nitaolewa, kama utanipea mtu. So God, what I'm asking for. If kuna mtu, kwa hiyo plan yako ya maisha yangu kuna mtu, we mlete. Usinifanyishe kazi mobi ya kwenda kumtafuta. We mlete na uniambie this is the one. But God, if you don't have a plan, wacha nitosheleke.
So, you know, some people would say, now you are spoiling our girls. You know, our girls have moved to sprinkle, you know? Our young girl.
We need to pray for these girls.
Yes.
In fact, just when I was seeing the
femicide.
Yes. I asked myself, young girls walianza kwenda Airbnb lini? What happened? Because sisi tulikuwa tunatembea kwa cube. Akina Edgar elezi elewa cube.
No, Edgar is too young for this.
Cube ni kale kanyumba kenye. A young man anajengewa hapo nje.
Yes.
Na wazazi wake after when he matures, mostly after circumcision.
Yes.
So
akona kasimba
Kenya simba. Si tulikuwa sisi tulienda kwa Simba. Na kama ni town, ulikuwa unaenda kwa kina Charlie kutembea, as in that guy. So I was asking, tulitoka kwenda kutembelea, because these are people, of course, if I'm coming to visit you, ni mtu ninajua. Where did we get to a point where tunaenda kutembelea strangers? What is happening? What is happening to our girls? Have we failed as a society? Maybe right now I'm seated here, Lynn, tukicheka hapa nikisema I can't date a man mwenye is not financially stable. Maybe I'm impacting negatively kwa another lady who is saying, even Joyce said, she has to date a... No, that is not what I mean. At your level, you can date. If you're a young girl and you're in college and you're not working, why would you want to date a millionaire? Si kwa ubaya. Why can't you date someone wa level yako mwenye mtatafuta pamoja, mwanze pamoja, or in simple terms, date someone you know. Just date some. Achaneni na hii online dating. That I'm almost pleading, I'm almost telling them, Aki, please, hata akikupea pesa ngapi online, achana na online dating. Date huyo msee wa hapo kwenyu, mtu unajua, watu mnajuana. Find out who a person is.
The way I remember there was this guy who was vibing me. Why hey? You know, so we used to live in Huruma. I think we were living in the second floor, and they were living uku high rise, but they had a shop in Huruma.
Wow.
So I remember how he would come kwetu kwa balcony ananiita. So you know, when you're in the balcony, even your mom knows. Your mom can see my daughter is there with this person kwa balcony. Things have changed so drastically. Not to I honestly, for the first time, I don't know what to say about what's happening, because I feel like there are a lot of things. I don't want to be part of when you watu wanabishana online, it's their fault, it's the men's fault. I don't want to be part of that. Please but don't. I feel like the education and the awareness that we have to create moving forward, we have to talk.
Yeah, for me, I just encourage our girls. Okay, you can meet a stranger. Kwa sababu relationship zote hazianzagi kwa mtu mwenye unajua.
Kwa balcony.
But before you engage further, hey, take your time. Learn who this person is. Just know something about them. Not even something small. Please find out who this person is.
You know,
just find out. Wachana na online dating for now. It's not safe.
Yeah.
We have very positive stories of people who have met online.
And they've succeeded.
Exactly. But
and also a lot of negative ones.
Yes. And the negatives seem to overshadow the positives. So just be careful.
But you see now the problem with the Airbnbs. I was having this conversation with my partner the other day, and we were just trying to brainstorm. And you know, Airbnb, someone can actually pretend this is their house. They live here. Wakuweke picha yake na mamake, na yako pia, wakuje watupanishe manguo kwa kitanda.
Yes.
You know, I would say, I don't know, like, honestly, that's why I said there are so many things we gotta figure out before we even have these conversations, like to just for the sake. Airbnb mtu atakuwekea hapo mpaka paka. Ataweka paka kwa bag. Uone huku kunaishi paka, my friend. And then you go there, this is such a homely setup. Vyombo zikiwa chafu hapo ndio uone mtu anaishi huko.
Na mpigwe picha iweke kwa ukuta.
Upate aliweka huko, boxers ametupa kila pahali. So how do you know this person does not live here?
You can't even tell.
You can't even tell. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, if me I'm a girl and a man is trying to vibe me, come home.
Yeah.
You now come home, because we can't go to Simba's anymore.
No,
Someone will even tell you this is my home and this is an Airbnb. Just I pull up to my place. You just come sit there. Also let my father or mother look at you with ugly eyes, but ka hapo. Until they know, so that the day something happens to their daughter, they can track you and they even know who you really are.
And you know what? Somehow, God in his own wisdom gives parents the sixth sense.
Yes.
Mama yako atangalia
kijana
Edgar hivi akwambie huyo kijana simtaki.
Yes.
And later, I swear, unakuja kusema and my mom said no to this person. 90% of those cases where your mother or your father says, there's something about this guy that is not right. Okay. Yes. Kindly just learn to listen. Don't just brush it off. Just listen and find out. And then, unajua, when you're in love, hata akithrow tantrums,
yes,
unasemaga, aki nilimkosea.
I know.
Aki ni mimi nilikuwa kwa makosa.
It was my fault. It was my fault. I did him wrong.
But they wanabadilishaga hiyo sauti kwa nini?
I can't me, Nanchi. I'm not a host shows, but you know.
Lynn, hey, aki unajua, ai mimi ikianzaga aki unajua.
Aki, you know.
Na unajua the guys pia, they've learned the art
of manipulation.
I swear mi ukuona.
Yani vile mi kucheki. Lynn, I swear hizo miguu. Also, the guy is pulling up on my DM for my legs. Leave me alone. These legs are spoken for. You know, akinzo miguu.
No, but they're nice.
Yeah, wacha chemshe maji.
Ziko sawa.
Chemsheni maji.
Show what your mama gave you.
You know,
yeah,
Aki,
why not?
you know, kwanza hizi Aki. Me, I think Aki should be considered a red flag. If you're coming to talk to Aki Joyce.
Mi napataga mpaka saa zingine nasema, Aki, simuangalie sura yangu. Mi ni mama nina turn 53 years this year.
Whoa.
I'm turning 53 in June.
What? Okay.
So, honestly, at 53, na unakuta mtu anajiintroduce na anasema, I'm 25. I've fallen for you. Sasa nashindwa. My daughter is turning 30. Na wewe ni 20. Utakuja kwa nyumba. God forgive you. Watu wa DM.
What are you
Mimi
falling
ni mama
for?
wa 53 years. Settled in the Lord. Work in progress.
Yes.
Lynn, napenda kuhubiri.
Yes.
Acha nikuhubiria kitu kidogo tu.
Go on.
Where people think... where some people go wrong. I've been getting some revelation in some program I'm attending, inaitwa BSF. And juzi we were discussing, and I realized it's God's righteousness that saves us. It is not the other way around, that I become righteous to be saved. No. God is so righteous, he cannot mix with sin. That is why he saves us. Is it sinking?
Wow.
It's God's righteousness
that
gives us salvation. It's not our own righteousness. We cannot be righteous in this body. We can never be righteous. It's God's righteousness that gives us salvation. What is that telling you? You can never be righteous. We only, like we say, we are work in progress. We fail so many times, even as Christians. If there are people I pray for, our church leaders, pastors' wives, those people go through hell. Their wives, their husbands are men. Yes. Like any other. And a man is visual. A man, whether ako amenyongwa na hizo nguo za kanisa ama nini, ataona ukipita na atakuangalia nini. Ataona. Na achungulia miguu ya Lynn.
Mungu and Joshua matako.
Hakuna mahali imesema ati ni pastor aziona Joyce akizungumza hapo. But they see. But people believe ni wanaume special. Kwa mwanaume, hakuna mwanaume special. Men. Mimi nimetembea now with men because they are my friends.
Yes.
Mpaka nimekam kurealize they are very good men. Wenye hawahanyi, it's called kuhanya. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They're very faithful to their wives. And they have girlfriends, as in friends.
Yes.
They've never discussed anything. Hata wata discuss dem amepita. But they are so faithful
to their partner.
Kuna wengine unawaona yani wanavaa mpaka zile suti oversize kwa sababu hao si wa kidunia. Hao ni wa?
Hao ndio holier than thou.
Hao wakute magomano. Hao hao ndio unaput. Yani dunia is very funny.
Yeah.
There are men out there who are very good.
Yes.
But there are also men out there wenye wezi acha skati pite. So as a woman, just I don't know whether to say learn to trust ama learn to usijisumbue. Wachana na simu ya bwana yako. What are you looking for?
You will find it.
You will find it. Wacha kumchunguza sijui ameenda wapi. Mwanaume wa kuhanya atahanya atakiwa na yapo. The same thing with ladies.
Yes.
Si unasikiaga ile historia mwenye alimwambia leo kwa nyumba yako. And that lady did it. That lady slept with a man akipikia bwana yake.
Yes.
Umeshasikia hiyo story?
I did it.
Yes. So uwezi chunga binadamu mwenzako.
Your husband side chick.
Exactly.
They kill their friends. But hey, uwezi chunga.
And also ladies, uwezi chunga mwanamke. Wanawake ndio tumekuwa wabaya zaidi. Women. And kwanza sasa wame perfect the art of now. Hakuna haja niende mbali. Huyo tu beshte yako. Huyo beshte yako tu mwenye unakuaga na yeye.
My best friend.
Yes, you'll never suspect. Hata mkikosana ni huyo beshte yako tunaita. Tumekosana. Na saa hizo wewe unashtaki, you are a man, unashtaki bibi yako kwa your friend, unamwambia you know I want you, mkae chini tuongee.
Yes.
Huyu juzi yako kuwa, kumbe alikuwa Naivasha na huyu mwingine. So it's an issue of
soko imechafuka.
Imechafuka ni mbaya. So what we need to do, number one, when we fear God, the fear of God makes you do the right thing. Sasa zingine unaangalia unasema honestly as a Christian, no, this one I will not do. Some things you do, some things unasema no, I'm a Christian. This one I cannot do. I will not do. Yeah. So when you allow God to guide you, you pray for the Spirit to guide you.
You get that fear of
the
doing the right
actually
thing.
Your conscience now is awake. You want to do something unasikia aya pana. Yes. This one
God
Mungu aezi ruhusu. Lynn, I'll tell you because maybe utasikia story na uko. You'll find me at a seated and I am having a glass of wine and I don't feel like I'm making a mistake. I know, you can go and say, oh, but I'll have my glass of wine and go home and laugh with friends. And I go home and I will not feel like a sinner.
And talk to your God.
And talk to my God because I'm still a child of God. Again, sipendi hiyo being religious.
Too God intoxicated.
Hey, ati?
They call too God intoxicated.
Exactly.
Yes.
Kuna wengine mpaka sasa hii nywele si ya Ukristo.
What else? Hii ni nini umevaa? Hizo kucha zilikuwa zinafaa kwa clear.
Mimi nishaitwa nikaambiwa okay, I don't want to imitate that person. But he's a brother from Meru. Aliambia unanjua Joyce. Tunakupenda sana. Lakini hatutaki uvae longi, hatutaki hiyo nywele, hii rangi utoe, marangi unajipaka huku. Hiyo sasa halafu kunje kwa kanisa yetu. Me I looked at that guy nikasema, oh my God.
Hata mimi sitaki accent.
What does Look at you today, you're killing me. Yeah.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
I told myself, this is a whole pastor mwenye ameniambia hivyo. Now can you imagine watu wenye wanaenda kwa hiyo kanisa? Mimi sisemi I don't know. The world is a bit confused. Let's stop being religious. Let's just study the word of God.
Yeah.
Of course, hata mimi si ati utanikuta Sunday nimeng'ara na jeans tight, nini nimeenda church. No, we respect the house of God.
But let me respect God how I know how to respect God.
Lynn, I go kwa church hata na jeans, but nimeivaa aje. Unaelewa? Kwa sababu pia sitaki brother Edgar.
Muga yalishaambiwa no. Edgar tuko na hopes like.
Sitaki brother Edgar anguke aseme kama si wa Gituro kuja hapa kujitingisha hapa mbele yangu. Mimi ningekuwa bado nimeokoka no.
Yes.
Let's just, what I'm just trying to say is tuache kuwa so hard on ourselves. I was listening to another preacher juzi. Na akasema, and I liked him. Ubaya si kuchukua jina yake. Alisema, sometimes we are so hard on ourselves. Hata kwenda mbele za Mungu, we are not even able to tell him exactly what, because we feel like
tunatetemeka.
Exactly. It's okay kwenda mbele zake ukitetemeka na dhambi zako na ukimwambia nisamehe. But treat God like the way a friend of mine said. When you are praying, angaliaga God ni kama venye unaendaga kwa baba yako. Amekaa hapo unamwambia, aki God, let me just tell you what I'm going through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And God, I'm struggling with 1, 2. And because you are my daddy. Na sina mwingine ati nitaenda kutafuta. It's you. Ni sort. Nisaidie tu. And God, I'm sorry. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 things. This is totally wrong. Just forgive me. And you know God forgives and forgets.
Yes.
But the devil will come to remind you, oh, ulifanya, talk back to him. Mwambie, nilifanya, lakini I'm still a child of God. And you move on. Yeah, tunapotelea kwa religion. That is why unaona vitu kama shakahola.
They are happening.
That's why unaona watu. Mimi, I keep saying, I lost my former husband in something I can almost call it a cult. Because kitu inakutoa kwa familia yako hiyo ni nini? Kitu inakwambia watoto enda angalia vizuri, si wako. Na watoto wangu
wanafanana from
copy paste ya baba yao. Church inakwambia sijui, tuachane na mambo ya cult. Let us just study the word of God, understand it, interpret it. Yes. And just have a relationship with God. Otherwise tutapotelea kwa religion.
Yes. Especially in African context.
And usijaribu kuniambia tunamaliza kabla sijaongea.
Hata sijaanza.
Ni venye nakuangalia ni kama
No, me I'm easy.
Yes, so
my people wamezoea vitu za 2 hours 47 minutes. How you guys watch it even now? I don't.
I do.
Oh.
Nakaaga nina watch.
Kai.
Ya nani was quite long.
Yeah.
Ya Mshemi.
Yes.
But do you know nilikuwa nasimamisha, naenda napika,
ninaweka
kasnack kangu, nakuja naendelea because zinakuwa very interesting. So
I feel like I get one chance to do this with someone, so I want to do it until enye tuseme tufunge show sasa.
Yes. Kama kuna shows unakuwaga nazo, hiyo ya Mshemi pia ilini touch.
Good. I'm happy.
Yeah, ilini touch.
Woman, yes. That one.
Yes, very strong.
Very strong.
And especially where she talked about how she it's like she knew who she is.
Yes.
When she stopped depending on someone to define her happiness.
Good.
I was like, this is it.
Yes.
You don't need to be affirmed by everyone. When God affirms you, when you know who you are, wewe simama na uende. Yes. Because there are so many people wanaishi na wanashindwa kufanya. People who are talented. People who have business ideas. But they will not do anything because of this FEAR.
Yes.
Fear. The moment unakubali fear. Lynn, I told you when I started my own company, nilikuwa na all those things in my head. Now what will happen? What if I don't even get a client? Lynn, today tunaongea mimi, sometimes unasikiaga ninaambia mtu that one I can't do, na siko baya. Because sometimes you look at the scope of work and what they're paying, hauikatai, but you hand it over to someone else mwenye anaanza. But you give yourself standards. Like you're saying, me, there are some things you'll call me for, and I'm like,
and I won't do.
I will listen, but ultimately I'll tell you, this one I cannot take it,
yes.
but I'll get you someone.
Yes.
I'll get you someone who will do this. Good. And they'll do a perfect job.
Yeah.
Because don't forget the startups. Those people who are trying
yes.
to. Sometimes I say, okay, fine, you take this. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you will do. This is how much they are paying. And I introduce you to them. But for me, and at the level I've gotten to,
yeah.
I think let's respect hard work.
And it's not a
let's
flex.
Respect experience.
You've earned it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You've earned it.
Yeah.
For me, if someone calls me for a gig, then I see Joyce rate card is maybe $1 million. You've earned it. I'm okay with my rate card being $500,000. I'm looking at you because you've earned.
That's what people don't understand.
People don't understand.
People will tell you, no, the other day we were like me.
Having
I turned down a lot of influencer things.
Good, thank you.
Someone comes and they tell me, but we were talking to so and so, I will not name them. And their rate card is, and I tell them, by the
that's them.
In fact, these days I pull them to jigs.
Yeah. Oh my.
I tell them,
Hey,
for Jakes is my son.
You didn't have to go that hard.
No.
Yes.
Hiyo watakimbia nayo. But
hiyo.
mimi
But me,
hapana.
no. People
Siko
should
ubaya.
respect
Siko
hard
ubaya
work.
na si maringo. But also respect my experience, my hard work,
Good.
I've been in this field for longer period than the person you're comparing me to. So I tell them it's okay. Sina shida. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I love that. People, let them know their worth.
And that is what touched me on Mushemi's story. The day she woke up and she realized it's not worth it.
I know me.
I know who I am. I am a child of God. My happiness will not be pegged on how someone else feels or on how someone else treats me or on what somebody says. You can say, oh, she's blah, blah, blah. No, that's you. That's not the person that's not me. By the person you're describing is not Joyce.
Yes.
And that is what has enabled me to move on. You know how social media can be nasty.
Very nasty.
Unaamka asubuhi unakuta umetukana.
Umeambiwa low vibrations. Oh my God.
Afadhali wewe. Ujaanza kuita sasa huyu shosh.
Wewe ni shosh.
Mimi naambiwa saa zingine namkaga na but I'm a shosh.
Yes.
To a beautiful pretty girl.
Beautiful.
Kanaitwa Adia Natasha Gikingo Wanjiro. Ni daughter ya my daughter.
Yes.
So when I became a shosh, of course I was so proud. Na nikaiweka kwa mtandao, Shosho Natasha. So some haters, what they do, wanaamkaga asubuhi. Anakuta Joyce amepiga kapicha, ameweka, amejaribu kufunga katumbo kako ndani.
Breathing.
Yes. And then wanaanza.
Breathing.
Sasa wewe nani shosh? What is this you are showing us? Mimi najiambia kimoyo moyo. Huyo shosh ana describewa hapo si mimi. Huyo shosh mwenye aliweka hiyo picha, aliweka with a message. And she was not looking for whatever this one is thinking about. You know, haters, hata ukiweka, I post the word of God every morning on my social media platforms other than X. But utakuta huko, watu wanakutukana. Nani word of God umeamka kuwatumia? The word of God. Umewatumia asubuhi. Hey! And they're hating on you. But nimesha learn mimi, those words don't define me. I tell myself, we tukanana. Na kesho bado utakuta the word of God, we tukanana. But there are those who get very personal. Nikiona siku 2-3 umekuwa nini? I block you.
You wait for 2 or 3 days.
Yes. Imagine I'm that patient.
Okay, then that you win. Me, yangu iko huko kwa low vibrations. My patience is on low vibrations. Moja tu hivi. Tukutane tu next
somehow
time.
I give them time.
Mimi
ufanya once, twice, alafu ni kunotice. I block you.
Me, I think I was blessed with your like nikijua tu wewe penye unaelekea. Imagine.
They do that and especially na hapo ndio nilitaka sana tuongelele being a single lady and the way the society treat
single
moms. Let me tell you, Lynn, mi nilianzana na, you know, the first shocker yenye nilipata was when after we separated my former husband, the women who were married. You know, when you're married, you walk around with married women as well.
Please.
Wamama wa kanisa.
We don't want low vibrations.
Hawa wamama, some of them, they cut ties like this. They start feeling like now you're becoming, they start doubting even your morals. Remember, this is a marriage that has just happened. Things have gone south. And in your small mind, you're thinking, I still have my women friends who will walk with me. Then you start realizing one by one, they don't want you even near their husbands. Then you're like, yeah.
True
I
story.
thought Mama Nani, yes, me, I'm giving you a true story. The women wenye walikuwa wameolewa, tulikuwa tumeolewa na hao, I think they were the very first ones to take off. Baka you're trying, unashindo, what is happening? You call Mama so and so, sasa, hey, they're too busy. Nobody wants you near them, eh? It's like now you become an outcast. It's like you're also going to break my marriage the way you was. And also the men in those relationships, hawataki utembee na bibi zao. Yes.
Wow.
Unataka kukua kama fulani? Yeah. Si nyumba yake ili break. If you want to follow her, get out of my house. So it's a two-way thing. The men, when you wame witness your marriage breaking, they don't want you to associate with their wives. The wives feel like now you are a threat. You can nyakua the husband and go nyau nyau. So ujijui.
Lynn, come back. Ati go nyau nyau. Lynn, come back.
So unaona, discrimination starts there.
Yes.
The second place where I started now experiencing discrimination and just, you know, the title, yeah, single mother, being rubbed on you, was in school. One day, Jakes came from school and he was like, Mom, you know, every time I tell my friends that it's Mom who buys me everything, they keep asking me why we don't have a dad. And Jakes would just explain, our dad left. And they would tell, imagine those young kids, no, it's your mom's fault. So Jakes, when he asked me that, he was so concerned. He was like, Mom, but watoto shule, they told me it's your fault that we don't have a dad. Again, I asked myself, how did it get here? Lynn, you go to some places, mimi nishanyimwa nyumba. Because mimi sina bwana. I'm looking for a house. Na naulizwa, and that mzee, God rest his soul, he passed on later. He was an old mzee. And I was looking for a house. Nikamwambia, natafuta nyumba. Umeolewa? Hapana. Sipeagi wasichana sigo nyumba huku. I tried to explain, I'm working. I have 3 children. I'll be paying. I mean, do you even want my pay slip? You know, he refused. For him, any single woman not in his plot. Hakai kwake. Lynn have been in leadership position, different places, including the church. I've been in a forum where it's like a women ministry. And the widowed women don't want to be associated with single mothers. Them they say, wetu walikufa, ni Mungu aliseparate. Wenyu muliwaacha. You know, you're like, is being a single mother a crime? Until nilifika mahali nikasema, nikaanza kukua, me, you know, I don't care. Whether I'm single or not, I'm just Gituro and I am Mama Rachel, Walter and Jakes, and I'm a child of God.
And work in progress.
Exactly. Work in progress. Kwanza hiyo najikumbushanga mara nyingi sana. Joyce, don't beat yourself so much. Because there are some things unafanya unasema, I think hapo nimeenda overboard. Unajikumbusha, oh Joyce, you're just work in progress. Undwa bado. Mungu bado anatembea na wewe. So, even in church, sometimes when you're in a leadership position like I am, something has happened to a couple. You know, you can never talk to that gentleman without going through the wife. The nyau thing I was telling you. So, unashindwa, I don't know, it is a very... You have to be very patient. You have to understand your calling. for you to deal with being a single person, a single mother especially, and leading even in church. There's that notion of single mothers they have loose morals or something like that. Exactly.
I remember I even saw someone saying, why are we glorifying single motherhood?
Exactly.
As if there is a woman who wouldn't want to see her family succeed. But then some people think, sasa, they don't even want to know, hata si uliachana, uliwachwa. You know, they always think, when ulikuwa kichwa ngumu, when ulienda, siju ulichapwa tu. I even saw someone said, I think she did not fight hard for her marriage. And then
fight for what?
Yes, and then the comment section were like, how can she fight for something
a
that
grown-up
left?
Who has decided to leave?
Also, what is fighting? That she was, as long as there was no physical abuse, as long as he was providing, she should have made things work. Hello, emotional abuse is a thing.
Your mental health.
Your mental health.
Lynn, mimi sijui kugongwa na mwanaume hivi.
Yes.
Sijawahi kusukumwa hivi. Sami never. Hakuiniekelea mkono. He provided. But where was my mental health? I was losing it. We never fought over women. Because I didn't have the strength. Not that they were not there. They were there. But mimi Joyce, nienda nikapiganie. Yeye akienda kufanya chenye alikuwa anafanya, alikuwa amesahau mimi niko. He knew I was there.
Yes.
And you chose to bring another person. Then it's you to deal with it. Hey, Lynn.
Deal with it. Yeah.
I've seen the way female politicians, the way they are profiled, especially those that are not married. I've seen women in power. There will always be that thing. But you know, she's a single mother. Or, but you know, they separated. But you know, the other thing of being single and being a woman and age, I've seen positions and situations where a 50-year-old man wanaona ripe for the market. A 50-year-old woman is too old to take a promotion. So those are some of the things I look at and I'm like, I mean, what is it about women and being single? If today Edgar stood there, na watoto watatu, na story yake ifanywe na yangu ifanywe hapo na kamtoto kamoja.
Yes.
People will sympathize and want to help Edgar.
Not you.
No, not Joyce. See, Joyce. So we either get used to this and we move on and we stop worrying about it, ama we find a way of stopping this victimization.
The stereotype.
Exactly, the stereotyping and thinking that a single woman, a single mother doesn't even deserve a promotion. Mimi, sitaki kuongea kuhusu, but kuna some words nishasikia zikitumika. I've worked in 3 different organizations, so I'm not going to name the organization. But there was this time I was due for promotion. And someone just said, no, like someone queried, why are we not promoting Joyce? And whoever gave the answer said, she's a single mother, she needs this job. Whether we promote her or not, she's not going anywhere. Are you getting the notion? This is a single woman. So whether we promote her or not, she really needs this job. So she's not going anywhere. And you're like, really? Is being, okay, what if I was married? Would I have been promoted? Yes, I can tell you. Yes. But now you have to be reminded you're single, you need this job, you know. So being single, and especially being a single mother, I don't know. I don't know what we should do about it. But I've encountered so many situations where I feel like, ama mumekaa tu mahali with ladies unconsciously. Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Unasikia mtu amesema, amewapigia story, you know, we were doing 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and you know, this lady did 1, 2, 3, 4, and imagine that lady is single. So me, I'm like, what is it about being a single mother? That lady is a single mother. Lynn, nilijenga my home.
Yes.
And one of my neighbors, if she's going to watch this, she knows she's
We
the
are
one who
global.
did this. It's okay.
We are global like that.
But when I moved in, although I didn't stay there for long,
Yeah.
after some time I realized it wasn't making economical sense. Yeah. So when I moved in, of course, the neighbors come to show you around. This lady didn't even know who I am. Then she tells me, you know, this is so-and-so's place, so-and-so's place, so-and-so's place. And then this one is owned by another single mother. She didn't even give me. And in my head, I'm just thinking, I'm also a single mother. Ama mimi umeshanitafutia bwana now that I've moved in here.
Yes.
And again, in that neighborhood, I wanted to join some chama. Of course, this is kama za nyumba kumi. And another lady told me, no, you know, in our chama, we don't admit, we don't allow single mothers. You know, me, I've gone through this single mother thing back. I'm like, wow. Is it a crime to be a single mother? And you know, I got to Mushemi's point.
Yes.
I said, I don't care whether I'm a single mother or not. I'll do my thing. I'll chase after what I want to chase. Nothing is going to stop me. That being branded a single mother, you can brand me. It's up to you. Me, I'm a child of God. Yes, delivered by the most holy blood. And I just do my thing because I know that title, single mother, doesn't define me.
Good.
I stopped. Lynn, do you know, hata mahali unaishi unaweza kutaga the security person ana respect, si anajua ni boma gani iko na mzee.
Yeah.
Ukikujaga hapo, hasalimiagi ya wengine. Lakini ukikuja, hey madam, habari yako? And you're thinking, kusalimiwa si vibaya. But this one is like being very
extra
comfortable with you, yeah? I've had to stop people from calling me after 9, whether ni kazi ama si kazi. And the few questions I've gotten, but wewe hakuna mtu anakukataza kuchukua simu, I tell them no. If it's not something urgent,
yes,
after 9, I don't pick calls. And you don't even wake up to call me at 6 in the morning. Yeah, so mimi after 9, unless it's something very urgent, which you can maybe text, you don't just call me. No. After 9, no. Because I realized unanyimwa heshima tudogo just because you're a single mother. Someone thinks they can call you anytime. Someone thinks they can pop into your house anytime. I was just passing by, I decided, kwa nani? Kwa Joyce? No, I don't do those things. I said no, because I respect myself. And also, I want you to respect me. Stop this nonsense. Huku akunaga mwanaume so you can come in anytime. You can pass by anytime. No, I don't do those things. I don't.
So you've learned to accept this is who I am and you're not making apologies for
it.
Yes,
actually, mimi penye nimefika, it's me and God now.
Yes.
Na nimekwambia what I told him.
Yeah.
Nilimwambia God, so you have a plan for my life. That's what your word says. So God, in that plan, if you have someone, as in hiyo maisha umenipangia juu, you know my beginning
yes.
to the end. Hapa katikati, God, kama kuna mtu umeniwekea, avail him. Show me the right places kwenda. Kama ni kwenda kucheza golf, ndio nipatane na wao huko, nionyeshe. Kama ni kwenda kwa duka, nionyeshe. One day my sister alikuwa na joke na mimi, akaniambia, "Hey Joyce, ningekuwa kama wewe. Uko na pesa, uko na you okay, you can afford to go out there."
Yeah.
Aki ningekuwa ninaenda, mimi ningekuwa nimeshaonwa na mtu. Nikamuuliza, okay, what if I stayed in the house and I waited on the Lord? The answer he gave me may offend some of these people watching. Niambia, wacha nikwambie wewe. Aidha utaolewa na delivery person mwenye analeta hizo mapita.
Yes.
Ama utaolewa na mtu wa security ama caretaker. Kama utatoka nje. Sometimes it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Single women, single ladies, young girls, as much as tunawaambia mchunge, get out there and be seen.
Yes, but the right way.
Yes, the right way.
Security.
Exactly. So sitasema ati mimi I'll just keep indoors. I order for my pizza, I order for KFC, I order for delivery guys to bring me whatever they want to bring. Na kesho jioni, unaona hiyo siku umeshinda umejifungia kwa nyumba,
ndio mtu
jioni
wako
ngoja, jioni unachukua Biblia unaenda devotion. Oh my God, bring that person. Leta huyo Edgar. Mungu muleta. Edgar atakujia wapi kama
Edgar anatoka soko.
Edgar unajua unamtajaga sana. That is why mimi ninajuaga Edgar, leo ndio nimemuona. That Edgar hata kupata kwa nyumba ukiomba, you have to go out there and be seen.
Look nice, smell nice.
Exactly.
Also let your heart be
nice. Yeah. And to heels kidogo.
Okay.
Wacha na sisi na manini sasa penye tumefika.
Uko show.
Sisi penye tumefika tunaweza vaa whatever is comfortable. Because mimi I'm not going to wear 6-inch. Alafu kesho niko kwa physiotherapist.
It won't work.
Nikivutwa mgongo. No, that I'm not going to do. But be nice. Even go to social places zenye zina adabu.
Yes.
But this thing of tunaambiwa and this is what I was talking about religion. Msichana anafaa kae kwa nyumba. No, just get out there. Go to CJ's. Kunywa ka juice.
Yes.
Meet someone. Again, maybe we are contradicting ourselves. This person you meet is a stranger. Know them. Like you said, if they're interested in you, invite them.
Yes.
Hata kwenu.
Yes.
Mwambie come and meet my mom, come and meet my
open
dad.
Places.
Lakini saa zingine tunapoteza na kupotosha watoto kwa kuambia no, don't leave the house, don't. These people wanatoka kwa world wakiwa hawana any exposure. They were dropped to school.
Yes.
After Form 4, they went to campus. Campus ni ile driver, drop and pick. This girl, the first person they meet, hawajui anything else. They have zero exposure. Let us allow them to mingle.
Also,
kama,
talk to them.
Exactly. Let them know, yes, it's not a crime even to have a boyfriend. But who is the boyfriend?
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, another stereotype you did not mention is, I see this a lot. These kids are so stubborn because they've been brought up by a single mom. There was no father figure. You know, yada. But I'm looking at the friendship you have with your children, and it's so beautiful. Like, people no longer even call you Joyce. So umekuwa Mama
I've
Jakes,
lost my brand.
You've lost
my Joyce Gituro brand is going.
And now you are Mama Jakes.
Mama Jakes.
People see the relationship you have with Jakes, Walter, your daughter.
And we don't pretend.
I admire that personally. I admire that. How are you able to, to bring that about?
I learned it the hard way. We've always been friends. And of course, when you're a single mother, you want to give your kids the best, all the love. Yes. You pour it to them until they start maturing. Your daughter comes home and she looks at you and she feels like you're 1926 born. Uelewi kitu, hata stima niye amekufunza kuwasha. So unaanza, your first shocker comes there. The first time my daughter didn't come home, I called Kilimani police station by 7. Then they told me, no, we can only take this as a report if she goes missing for 24 hours. Na amenizimia simu. Mimi, let me tell you, Lynn, saa 9 usiku ilinipata nimekaa chini hoping hiyo mlango itagongwa. She didn't. Long story short, it was the beginning of being shown, Mom, I'm now a campus girl. Sometimes I may not come home. Not that I'm doing anything bad out there, but I got priorities. Exactly. And ni kasichana kamenifanyia heshima. At this time and age, msichana kukuja kutolewa kwako, hiyo ni heshima kubwa sana.
Yes.
Kuleta watu, Mom, this is my boyfriend, and the parents are coming. To ask for exactly that one. Rachel ulinifanyia heshima kubwa sana. Yeah, si wengi siku hizi wanafanya hivyo. And so ikabidi I had to befriend Rachel so that I know how she is. And in the process I realized even the boys, we are free, but wait until they cleared school. Guy, Lynn, Mimi nishapiga magoti nikaambia Mungu, God, these boys you gave me, na kurudishia.
No way.
Yes.
Jax and Walter.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the way they are sweet.
They went through that phase. Yeah. We've cleared school. What is mom telling us? We can go visit our friends. We don't have to come back, and we switch off the phones.
Wow.
You come to SIU, unaambiwa Walter hajaonekana class. You go to Daystar, unakuta Jax alikuja class ya jana na ya juzi, lakini hii hajafanya. Hauwaoni, wanaishi hostels. For me to bring Jax back home na kumwambia ukitoka hapa, Walter nikalipa hostels. Walter, let me tell you, kuna time hiyo phase which these kids go through. When they transition from secondary school to campus, the first year of campus, every parent, mi nasemaga, kama mtoto wako amepita hiyo, ni yenye tulikuwa naambiwa, if you go past form 2, sisi during our days ilikuwa,
we are good.
Hey, she's done with form 2, then she's okay.
Yes.
Now, these days I tell parents, like I was telling my sister, the daughter has just cleared school, and I was telling her, guy, once she transitions to campus, she has her freedom.
Yes.
And everything. Once she does year 1 and she's okay, mikono, now we can move. Mimi year 1. And imagine both of them joined campus at the same time. Yes. Though Walter is a form 6 person, Jax got to form 4 and decided to do a diploma because they went through the IGSC system. So Jax said, I'm not going to form 5 and 6. Let me do my diploma. And Walter did up to 6. So they both joined campus at the same time. Excited at the same time. Let me tell you, I went down on my knees and I told God, God, you didn't give me these kids to be my source of misery. Nimekurudishia. Me, I don't want them.
Yes. Take
them back. Up until one day I was praying and I could hear God just telling me, why are you doing my job? Watoto waombe and leave it to me. I gave them to you. I'm the one who is going to take care of them. Let me tell you, my Bible study group, I'm a leader of our Bible study group. I used to tell them every evening, the same thing. People, let's just pray for my boys. These days, we give a testimony. And it's because I learned to let God be. Just pray for your kids. Cover them. Cover them with the blood of Jesus. God, I cover them with the blood of Jesus. God, these kids, you gave them to me. And you have a plan for their lives. God, please, may they not be my source of misery. May I just allow me to love them. May we love each other. And it happened. It's another miracle that God alinifanyia. I prayed. You get desperate. You're imagining these kids, like you're saying, if people see them out there misbehaving, sini watoto wa single mother. Are you getting? So they have no morals. They have no... watoto, when anything happens, they will always come back to you. What's the best that you can do? Commit them to the Lord. I prayed for those boys. I prayed for them. I fasted for my kids. And God told me, why are you doing my job? Leave it to me. You pray for them and release them. I'm the one who takes care of them. It's not you. Otherwise, how do I take care of them when they are at USIU? So let us learn to pray and release. I've done my bit. And that's the same thing I was telling you about people in a relationship, couples, man and wife. Pray for your wife. Cover her with the blood of Jesus. Let her be. Because that lady, even if she wanted to do anything atafanya, you can't stop her. Pray for your man. Pray for your husband. And release him to God. God will take care. See where you don't have the capacity. You don't have the capacity ya kuchunga anyone. And that is, hiyo na ile ya God promising me to walk with me and providing. And this one ya watoto. Those are 2 miracles Mungu amenifanyia. Because I told God, God, where do I go to? What do I do? I can only come back to you. Ni wewe ulinipea watoto. So mimi, because it has become too difficult, have them. They are yours. And God changed them.
So how have you established boundaries ndio usiwazoee sana na wasikuzoee sana?
They know I'm the lioness.
And they are the cubs.
Somehow they know. I can't even explain it.
It naturally forms
Yes,
itself.
but they know when mom is serious, when she's saying this has to stop. People come to my house and they can't even believe it's the same Jakes who talks to me, who talks back to me the way he does. Jakes, like this morning when I was leaving, niliacha ameosha vyombo, and I don't have to tell him to wake up aoshe vyombo. He knows the standards in that house. Otherwise, you're earning, toka uende ukaishi kwako. But as long as you're in my house,
you live by my rules.
Yes, vyombo lazima zioshwe. The house must be clean. Make your bed when you wake up. Sugua bafu yako ukioga. Those small housekeeping rules, I don't have to repeat them. He knows. Na si kwa ubaya. If you're having visitors, I have to know. Like 3 days in advance. And mom, and it's people I know.
Yes.
So and so
is coming.
Yes. I can't just open my house
to strangers.
I can't. I don't, Liz. Lynn, I'll call you Liz mpaka tumalize. Lynn, I don't do that. I am a very outgoing person, but you'll rarely find people in my house. I established that
a long time. Let's meet at Java, let's meet at wherever. Look at my girlfriends. Akina Jerida, akina Wilbroda, akina Maggie. I was gonna go there.
Yes, we meet a lot, but most 99% we meet in restaurants. I think we find it easier. We don't enter into each
Personal
other's spaces sana. And I don't know, maybe it's the way I was brought up. My dad, I never saw him entertaining a lot of visitors. Na unajua ni mzee wa kitambo. So maybe it's the way we were brought up. I don't have people who will just pop into my house. People call. Na sina ubaya. Someone can just tell me, hey, Joyce, I'm around here. Are you in the house? Yeah, just come. But I rarely get, unajua ile ya ting ting. You're opening the door and you're like, who is this? Yeah. No, I don't.
I love that.
Yes,
but I love that you've brought your friendship with, Akina Jerida, Will Broda, all these people. And for me, I did a video with my best friend the other day.
I saw it.
Me, I have a personal channel, so my people for LNN, just go and subscribe. I had to plug that there. And I think in your 30s, something happened. You start treasuring female friendships more.
Yes.
You start cultivating them.
Yes.
They are not just friendships. These are like
Sisters.
Relationships, sisterhood. You wanna water me, I water you, we grow together. And for me, honestly, that video was actually inspired by the friendships you have cultivated around your women. Really.
Wow.
You had me thinking about my female friendships.
Yes.
Which ones do I want to make amends? So, like, because I had done this with Zawadi. Like, we had reconnected like 2 years ago. So, I was just looking at you and admiring how you've been able to do this. And I was just like, hey, maybe we do this because even me, I don't get female friendships.
And it was very nice. I'm sure people have come requesting to do.
I don't know how that happened. Honestly, it was just...
No, it was very nice.
It was very raw. Some people are saying, Lynn, we've never seen you that vulnerable. Lynn, you are a snitch, watch and then Mimi. Like, all of you have done things in your friendships you are not proud of. You get what I mean? Hey, but but for you, how have you been? Because these are friendships that go way back.
Yes.
How are you guys still so strong?
The ones with Akina Will Broda,
yes.
We formed it because we were in the same industry. And we were receiving a lot of negative vibes. And somehow, maybe on some days, Will Broda, we would wake up and tell me, Aki Joyce, how do we deal with this negativity kwa mtandao, And then maybe a day after, I'm the one calling Jerida. Did you see what happened? Have you seen the way nimetukanwa? Then it's me who realized we had a common issue. We needed each other's support. And I formed that group. Actually, mi nakuwaga mama yao wa group. And even in real life, we act like a family. I am the mother, and Jerida is the elder sis.
Yes.
And that is how and then we started visiting parents.
Oh.
We decided, initially it was not even about visiting parents. It was about Let us go and know you and know your people. So when we are coming to visit, we just invite some of your sisters or all of your sisters, because we need to know. I'm telling you right now, if anything happened to Jerida, the brothers would call me first before calling any other person. Wilbroda's mom is like our sister. We call her even without talking to Wilbroda. Yes, we just call, Mother, ukoje, unaendeleaje? It has turned out to be a family. When I lost my mom.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes. They came in, as in, even I was in Arizona. I was away in the US. And even the place I went to spend in New York, because I had to leave Arizona immediately. It's like a 3-4 hour journey. Akina Jerida organized for me from there. I'm telling you, to date I keep saying, I don't know how my mom was buried. Of course, it shocked me and everything. But in terms of finances, my media people, God bless you. Oh. They organized themselves. Me, I would be seated in my house like this. Naona watu wakikula, wanakula kuku, wanakula chakula. And I'm just thinking, sasa wametolewa hizi chakula. Those girls
came in.
Those ones, and like, I have a set of friends.
Yes.
Female friends.
Yes. Then you
I have another
male.
one.
Yes.
This one we call ourselves Mariros.
Mariro.
Mariros, yes. Now, these Mariros, and it is one of the groups yenye wakuniwacha even when I separated with my husband. Now, this one again, we formed it because tuko in media, tumeolewa, and with our tough media schedules, tuko na mabwana. Now, how do we handle career na mabwana na tunazaa? So in fact, initially tulikuwa tunajiita kina mama tujikazeni tujikakamue. Akina mama jikazeni jikakamue, because we really wanted our marriages to work. And I thank God. Other than me who separated, na sikutolewa kwa group na bado tunaendelea. Again, I'm the mother hen of that
yes.
that group. Another one lost her husband. But we are still, hiyo focus yetu ni families. Like in July last year, mmoja wetu alikuwa naenda kulipiwa mahari. Hey, you'd have thought ni sisi wote tunaolewa. We were in uniform. So that group, pia we formed it out of our unique situations we found ourselves in. Media ladies. Na family, inakuwaga it's a struggle.
Sipopata mtu pia anakuelewa.
Anakuelewa, na sasa encourage kama uko kwa media.
Chukua mwenzako wa media. Tuendelee.
Tafuta mwenzako wa media who can understand. Lynn anaambiwa ako na miguu poa, which is true. I'm very straight, but uko na miguu poa.
Zina vibrate.
You had me.
Thank you.
Uko na miguu poa.
Thank you, mama.
A person will understand. Wife yangu anaweza pewa ma compliments zingine zinauma. Yes. Akianza kuambiwa vile ako na smile poa.
Snack.
Exactly. Yeah. So, mimi nasemaga kama uko kwa media,
please tafuta mwenzako.
Usichukue daktari, usichukue mwalimu.
Yes.
Kwa sababu haelewi how.
Good.
Bibi yangu alikuwa amepanda juu ya nini akifanya road show.
Yeah, how now?
Mimi nilikuwa narudi nyumbani kuexplain why nilikuwa juu ya road show nikidance. Bibi yangu, my wife, you were dancing on top of her.
Why? What did you want to prove?
I encourage people, please, kama uko kwa media,
tafuta mtu wako.
Tafuta mwenzako wa media, mtaelewana. Hakuna insecurities.
Edgar, umesikia?
Edgar. Tafuta kasichana kazuri kadogo, kanajua kupinda mgongo.
Hata akiomba jampa mpe.
Lakakue kwa media.
Yes.
Mtaelewana. So that's an asset. And then I have a set of ladies, hiyo mujaiona sana, tunajitaga God's girls. These are single women who are serving God. Single women
serving God.
Actually, other than one,
yes,
the rest of us are separated, divorced, but we are serving God. So we realized we needed to form a support group
Yeah.
where we discuss our challenges. Yeah, because serving God as a single woman, sometimes it's a huge challenge. So you need that support system that keeps pushing you.
Good.
Yes, that affirms you. That it's okay, Joyce. Yeah, this happened. I know it's okay. You're still a child of God. Let's move on. So those are 3 sets
Of friendships.
of female friends that I treat separately. And also me as a person. And Jerida keeps telling me, Joyce, ukileta marafiki zako wote pamoja, unajua tutapigana. Because mimi, I have different friends and I relate from north to south, south to north, east to west.
Yes.
So sometimes unaona, when I bring them together, like during my mom's whatever, I would watch and I could tell. You see the way unasikia?
Attention.
Hawa waelewani na hawa. Lakini
Twendeni
too. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Naturally, I relate. I'm a relation. What
no
is
wonder.
the right word?
You are
a very...
You are a conversationist.
Yes.
A good relation person.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I love relationships. Because you never know where a relationship can lead to. I once met a lady kwa restaurant and we started talking. You know the way you seated here, someone else is seated. Then we start conversing and talking. It ended up in business. So of course, when you start conversations with the wrong people and you're a Christian, let me tell you, the Spirit speaks. Unaona, nimekwambia with age, wisdom comes in, and also God somehow. Lynn saizi ukikaa chini, you're engaging me for the first time, atujuani sana. Do you know there's that kind of voice that tells you, this lady, I don't know what it is, but yeah. And you find yourself hapana staki relationship. And you can't put a finger on the reason.
And you fight
but
the feeling.
But kesho utakutana na Joyce na mumengiana na.
By then, what is this?
Yes, so
I'm asking myself, how is she this cool, you know? Like, how is she this cool, you know?
Really?
You know, now
okay, are we acting or we are talking about that person that you meet?
No, you
it's
are
me.
cool.
Oh, I'm cool.
Yes,
oh
yes.
God.
Like my spirit is just like, so najua kina Edgar wako,
Unasikia,
Lynn
I'm cool.
maliza. My show, she's cool.
Yeah, I'm that cool.
You are cool.
Show.
No, true story. But do you fight with your girlfriends though? And how do you handle iso tension? Because me, I was now, where una? Lucky you. Me, I was looking at mine with Zawadi. I'm like, did we have to go that long? Guy, 5 years, za ujinga, man.
No. It happens. Luckily, okay, I don't know how I can handle. There's one that to date in a new maga. In fact, akakubali, we can come.
Kwa show?
Akakubali. Kwa sababu it was a good relationship that ended because of something very small. But yangu and with akina Jerida and Will Broda na kina nani, oh my God, if you joined our group, utatoka asubuhi. Tunaambianaga as it is. Jerida, I didn't like the fact that you said 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Stop it. The person you were telling told me. Can it stop? That is how we work.
For real?
Will Broda will tell me, Joyce, ninasikia ulikunywa juzi chai na maneno yangu. Hiyo chai usikunywa siku ingine. The person you are discussing me with, we've learned to tell each other off. To a point where tumepanga sisi watano, we are going to visit Lynn's mom.
Yes.
Alafu ujikujishe na hapo na ka shopping akana nini?
Mwelekeo.
We tell you as it is. Tunakwambia so ulikuwa una shop unapeleka wapi? Just because this is not your mother, ama
shop like
kwenu,
this.
You shop like this. The other day when tulikuwa naenda kwenu uli shop hivi. Hatuna kitu tunajiwekeaga. No, in fact, I get so concerned wakati ninaona my sisters ama my friends, alafu nione akina Jerida na akina Will Broda. I'm worried. Nashindo, wataongea ukweli.
Itachoma.
Yes. Akina the Marie Rose.
Yes.
Maybe because we don't have a lot of social interactions and we are still those wamama wa kujenga boma. It is, we respect each other. Tujakuwa na nini. And the few times tumekuwa na issues, we've sat down like grown-ups and God's girls, again, it's like the one with akina Jerida. We tell you as it is. Yeah. like it or hate it, but this is it. Because I need us to move on. Lynn, if
With
you're
the
my
intention
friend,
of
yes,
moving
exactly.
on.
You're not going anywhere. Unaenda wapi?
Akisa
If you're
shida.
my friend, I'll tell you now, Lynn, surely. Nikuje kwako kwanzia asubuhi, all you're giving me ni chai na chapati. Na niliona ulikuwa umepika nyama jana jioni. Wewe niwekea nyama nikule. Sitarudi kesho. Sitarudi. Tomorrow I'll not come and visit you. Niweke.
I love that.
So that tusikosana, nisitoke hapo I start saying, imagine nilienda kwa Lynn, akanipea chai na chapati na nilikuwa naona nyama hapo. Mimi I'll just tell you, hey Lynn, hii nyama naona umeficha hapo. Hebu niweke.
You know, I learned from my story, kuna wale wa block, delete and follow the us. So we are trying to
imagine just
we grew don't come from we grew up. Guys, maybe aki wala uko hapo ukini-explainia. Kwanza hiyo siku yangu na Zawadi uko nimechemka. Ako tu hapo ana explain niliona typing block. So text inifiki, you block, then unaingia pale Instagram, akini utoto
unfollow,
block kila kitu. So anakutafuta, asa alikuwa anaenda kunitafuta kwa sasa, what was that? But you grow.
But
na nilikuwa na vibrate kilo.
What you do?
Yes.
Start being yourself, Lynn. Now your relationship, like now after what you did.
Yes.
I liked it.
Thank you.
Mulifungua roho. Sasa saizi ni nini ingine mwezi ambiana?
Hakuna, imagine. Let me take you back, because this is ya mwisho too. Because you mentioned something about alcohol.
Yes.
When you are dealing with your lows.
Yes.
When people are dealing with their lows, did it hit the addiction part, ama how did you deal with it? Because now you are here, how did you come back to Joyce?
Hey, it almost hit to the addiction bit. Nilikuwa nakaa karibu na job. So what I used to do, I would go home, lunch hour, have my meal, nachapaka ka short. Then I'm thinking, see, I can tell whoever is in the office, nani akikuja, just call me. Hey, I got to a point I realized, in a week, I was doing it every day and then overdoing it over the weekends. And it took some frustrations and disappointments from this guy, the guy I was dating, to sober up. But I also went through depression and medication for depression. And when I came out of it, I think that self-love and starting to know who you are. And also the word of God, mostly the word of God, because I think I went back to God and I was like, God, you know, I left you. I'm feeling alone. I don't want this other side. I just want to come back to you. And God accepted me. I even joined a Bible study group. I started being active in church. And then again, I realized I was losing myself in church. I needed a balance. A balance. Exactly. I needed a balance because sometimes we bury ourselves in church that we don't even have any other life. And there comes that moment when you're just alone, maybe somewhere, maybe in the office, maybe at home. And I think that moment came to me when one day I was in the house and I was just feeling like, I go to church, I'm saved, but there's some loneliness in me that I can't explain. I was feeling like there's a part of me that got lost. And then I started now balancing that I have my social life. I don't go overboard, but again, I'm not a boring shush. Yes, I meet people in social places and I'm happy. On a Friday evening, I go out. I laugh with people. Sometimes I ask, makosa ya hiyo ni gani?
Hakuna.
One day I sat down with, forgive us for extending this. One day I sat down with my pastor. Sitamtaja jina. Nikamuuliza, pastor, what would you advise? And this, I'm posing it as a question to some people who demonize single mothers who date later or get married. some people ask her, Sasa, this one is a single mother, she has everything, and why is she getting married? Companionship is important. Remember, a single mother, you cannot treat them the way you're treating a single girl who has not been married. And sometimes I'm very blunt about this. I keep asking, this is a single mother who was loved, who had a man. She used to enjoy sexual relationship. She knows the sweetness.
And the positions.
Exactly. And then you're telling her, no, you have to stop. My friend, she used to do them.
I come with experience.
I know what it means to be loved.
Yes.
To have a nice moment, to be intimate with someone. So don't treat me the way you're treating a girl who you're telling, don't engage. There's one thing not to engage, and there's another thing of now starting a celibacy life. It's not easy. Unajua watu saa zingine wanatakaga kujifanya, sijui. My friend, those feelings when they come, aziyombagi ruhusa.
Yes. Joyce.
Sijaisikia mahali zimeomba ruhusa. Unasikiaga tu mwili imechemuka na imechemuka na imechemuka na imechemuka. So, you used to ask them, mulikuwa munataka mtu, these things happen with time.
Yes.
Like now, I'll tell you for sure. Yangu ilienda na ikaenda. But that time, ulikuwa unaambiwa ati, abstain from what? This is something I was getting twice a week. Now you're telling me to abstain. How? Talk to my whatevers and my feelings and everything. Yes. Show me a formula that I'll tell my ninis, my
to
feelings.
Abstain.
Yes, you, pass on. Shut up.
Chill.
Exactly. Yeah, some things tuache ujinga. Ambia mtu, yes, you can take your time as you get off this thing. But hakuna formula ya pap.
Yes.
Hakuna.
It's a process.
Yes, for me, it has been a process. I can confidently tell you now, because of I abstain. Is it abstaining? Yes. I got to a point I stopped the sexual sin. I'll tell you for sure. That one I told God, sexual sin is a no. And with time, I've seen God deal with that. And also my age. To face vitu zingine ukweli tu. But you cannot tell a 25-year-old ameachwa na mzee, atulia wapi. Huyo ni mtu alikuwa amezoea nini mara 3 per week. Tuseme wamezoeana per week. Per week mara 3 urudi uweze kumwambia, okay, show her the formula. Ya kudeal na nini.
This honesty.
Be nini. Just tell them. Enda ukifastigi pole until Mungu atakuwezesha. Ama you get a companion. Don't demonize it when that girl wants to get married. Let her get married. Unataka apeleke feelings to one person, ama azunguke. What do you want?
Tumwachie one person.
Wachane ni kupotosha watu. And that is why unakuta these single ladies wameogopa to come out in the open and say, this is what I'm struggling with. I have sexual desires. Someone needs to stop them. And there is a formula for stopping these things. It's a formula that is known by everyone.
Yes.
So as I pray about it, let me be. Niache. Because others show me how to do it.
I like how we've become a nation of stop. No, you shouldn't.
Hey,
but we don't
this is
show
wrong. Why are you doing it?
We don't show people the formula.
Give me a solution. I'll embrace it. I will happily embrace it.
Yes.
And that is why to date, ulikuwa unaniuliza mambo ya pombe.
Yeah.
To date, mimi I don't judge. I've told you, na siogopi kuisema, you will find me with my glass of wine. And I'll take it and not feel guilty. Sitaificha chini ya nini. Oh, pastor, anakuja. Let me tell you, and this I've been saying, what I don't hide God.
I won't hide from man.
I'm not going to hide from man. Ati pastor wangu anakuja. Anakuja, hey, pastor, this is what I've been having. Yes. Kitu utanikuta nayo ni sasa, you know, those excess things.
Yes.
You become, in fact, if you sit at somewhere alafu uone vitu zinaanza kukua nini, you leave. Yeah, because again, hautaki jina yako ipuliwe kwa vitu zingine. But also, you can guide someone when you know they are overdoing it. Yes. But also, something I need to mention here, I have never done it in front of my kids. Not that I fear them. Not that I fear them. They see. Sometimes I have friends who come to my house and I give them wine and I take in the process. But I don't know why. From the time you me 3-4 years yenye nakwambia nilikuwa like an addict. Much later to date, I don't know how to take my glass of wine kwa nyumba peke yangu. No. But when you come to my house, I'll give you wine. And in the process, I'll take with you. But mimi peke yangu, no. So my kids, even imagine, even hata during hiyo time yenye nilikuwa naumia, my kids, I don't think they ever saw me drunk. No. Not even a single day. At all, hawakuwaiona. To date, again, like I've said, me, I don't take my wine in the house alone unless I have friends. Otherwise, I think I enjoy where, Lynn, sasa, if Friday banas, you buy me a glass of wine, wapi, or Sinkiri or wherever, I'll go. We'll come, I sit down, enjoy my glass of wine. We catch up, we laugh. Tuonekane hata sisi. Kama
yes, we got out of the house. Yes, kumfanyi delivery.
Uko labda ndio Edgar Junior senior atakuwa. Lakini kuniambia yeye ya Christian.
So lazima akuwe senior, si hivi.
Si.
No.
Labda Edgar senior atakuwa huko. So me I encourage. I know this might sound controversial, but mimi nishakata. I told myself, I am a child of God. And I don't want to hide, man, what I'm not hiding from God. Yeah. If God knows I take my wine in the bedroom, who is this that is more powerful than God?
That I'll hide it under the bed akikuja.
Imagine. I've seen those things. And me, I somea my friends, especially when, wacha na, watu nimekutajia, we are very liberated. Hiyo tufichagi. But I can have a friend mwenye anambia, unajua mimi siwezi taka kuonwa na pastor wangu, namuulizaga na Mungu wako wako wapi? Where is your God? If you know something is offending God, achana nayo. But if you know kabisa, Lynn, tukikana wewe hapa, hakuna makosa tunafanya. Mimi I go ahead. Me as a person, and I'm not encouraging anyone uko there atitoka kwa nyumba enda ukakunywe. No. But mimi, I comfortably sit down, enjoy my glass of wine, and I am still saved. I'm still a child of God. I am work in progress.
Period.
As long as, like we've said, don't overdo it.
Know the limits. I love that.
Yeah.
I love Aki, thank you for granting me one of the most
3 hours.
Muga tuko 2 hours na 1 minute ama?
Okay.
Tuko? Hata ijafikia ya Mkuru.
Hata
hapa ijafikia ya Abel. Sa watu wasini tumeenda.
I'm yet to watch ya Abel.
Yes,
I think
please do.
Nilianza yenye ninataka tena kuwatch sana ni ya Pinky.
Yes,
ya
she's
Pinky.
amazing.
Yes, I really wanted to watch it. Because when she says watu walikuwa naambia she was old at 30.
What do you mean?
Nilikuwa nasikia kuambia which people.
Yes.
Kuja tuende tukawafanyie nyenye.
Please do those are
Mimi, okay, do I call myself a feminist? I think I am.
Yeah.
Haki za wanawake zinaniguza tofauti.
Pahali.
Yes, I want to see women grow. Kumbuka I'm a mother of 2 boys.
Yes.
But I also want to see the boy child take his space. I get disappointed with this trend of to Ben 10. I'm disappointed with this caliber men who think they'll get rich women who will take care of them. I don't like it. Ati hiyo ndio unakuta wanatoka kwa nyumba, hiyo ndio nini yao. No, for me, I want us to get a sober society. Not that doing whatever we are doing, those whatever zitafanya, they'll spoil our society. But I think I'm old school, nimekubali. I want to see a normal society where we are doing things the right way. I want the boy child to take their space. Nataka boy child apate voice. Because another thing we've done, we've empowered the girl child so much that boy child, by the time your son, if you had a daughter and I have a son, they clear campus together.
The daughter
in 2 years. Well, in fact, my son hataangalia your daughter because she's uko. So let us empower boy child the same way we've empowered girl child. Yes. Let's try and balance. Let's bring our men back. A man who would say kitambo, I'm picking you at 6. Unafikiria ni gari anakuja nayo na kamna boda amekam kukupik.
Yes.
But ni mimi, I'm the man. Mimi nimekam kukupik.
See ati meet
do
me
you know hata
at...
uangalia gari yenye uko nayo utasema
effort umenipik man. Mimi nanga princess kwa magari. Hata sioni kawaja gani niende driving like I'm just like princess.
Yes, baby girl. Na mwanamke hata wa 90 years anataka kutritiwa
kama
baby girl. Exactly. If only the men learned hiyo kasiri. Okay, for me, hiyo natoaga disclaimer. Mi sitakagi kusema it's not what you have. No, what you have, bring it. Kwanza kuja nayo on the table.
Tuone.
Yes, but treat me like a baby girl. Yeah. Let me see the authority in this man I'm dating. Si mwenye tutaenda wakora wakitokea, tunahepa sisi wote. Wewe hata ndio unabaki. I long for that society.
Yes.
I long for the time when boy child take his space in the society. Time yenye unakumbuka hata ungekuwa na brother yako mdogo, uogopi mkitumwa kwa duka usiku. Si niko na bro.
Try me.
Exactly.
Try me. You know, just try me. Try me.
Exactly. But now, right now, ni ubebe brother yako na sister yako. If anything happens, ni wewe na sister yako. Yes. I sometimes I feel disappointed, but again, I think we shall get there.
I love that. The conversations are happening. So at least now the people are out there with this conversation. So I know.
And I like what Nani is doing.
Who?
The Dorcas Rigathi.
Yes.
I like what she's doing with boy child. Affirming them, even telling them you can do it again. Yes. You can. What you've been doing is okay, but you can start again. We can move on. Boy child, huwa nakufeel sana because mimi ni mama ya boys. But also women waruhusiwe, let women be, because women, we are not fighting to take positions of men. We just want to be. We want to get equal opportunities. We want to work.
Yes.
We want to be recognized. We want you to stop these small titles, the way you define us, the way you profile us. Let a woman be. Kama mwanamke ni governor. Right now we have 7 women governors, and I like them. Women who are strong. Ukiongezea na deputy governors, I think they're 8 ama 15, something. But utakuta, look at the counties zenye zinaongozwa na women, other than my friend Kawera. She's seen it. She's seen it all.
Oh, yeah.
But look at those minis.
They are thriving.
They are thriving. They call themselves the G7.
Yes.
They are doing a good job. So give women pia opportunities. Women, mukikuwa governors, just the way men wako na office of the first lady.
Kuwa na office of the first
and sisi watu tuacha wafanye kazi.
Yes.
Bwana yangu ni makosa gani akikuwa na ofisi yake? Lakini pia huyo mwanaume naye ajue mimi ni governor. Anipe.
Tunatuacha mazoea.
Anipe heshima ya governor.
Yes.
Anipe heshima ya governor. Anyway, mambo ya gender tunaweza ongea tuongee aishagi.
They say it's both a logical conversation and an emotional one.
But the very last one, Lynn, niruhusu niseme.
Go on.
Be your sister's keeper. Women, let's wacha tufunikane. Nikikupata
oye,
umekaa vibaya, wacha tu nikufunike kwanza.
Then tuongee.
Wacha nisiende sasa kuleta kamera ifocus, unaona. Let's be each other's keeper. Yeah. Let's lift each other. Wanaume unaona hapa wanaliftiana sana. You know Edgar anaweza lala kwa huyu anaitwa nani?
Kwa dama.
Alafu na huyu anaitwa nani?
Muga.
Na dama amke akute Muga.
Yes.
Amuulize
Edgar kwa wapi?
Na Muga atamwambia sijamuona, lakini jana kuna kibiashara aliitiwa.
Ni kama ameenda hivyo.
Ni kama ameenda hiyo biashara. Kuja kwa wanawake. Ati
jana.
Joyce jana hata nilimwacha pale sijui you know,
akiwia.
Women, let's learn to protect. Just protect.
Kwa nataka kusema we are snitches, nikakumbuka mimi ndio snitch.
Umejisahau.
Haiko hivyo serious.
Keep telling people, marry your friend.
Yes.
When everything else doesn't work, the friendship remains.
Guys, you say that again.
Yes, when everything else fails, the friendship remains. Because when someone is your friend, it doesn't matter what happens between you two. That element of friendship keeps things going. That is the time when you can sit down and tell them, my dear, let's not even discuss anything else. But this is honestly how I feel.
Yes.
And I think what you did was wrong and you should not do it again. At that point, umongeleshi kama beshte wa beshte.
Yes.
You're talking to him as your friend.
Good.
Because now umeweka my feelings.
Kando.
My baby girl.
Now we are friends.
Mommy girl.
We are friends.
My lipstick.
Friends.
Umeziweka?
Yes.
Kando.
Yeah.
That is, but when you're not friends, haiwezi.
Imagine. So, yeah, me I just love that.
And that is one of the things that I realized with mine.
You were never friends?
We were never friends. We met, tuka fall in love kama watoi. And then kuanza kuishi pamoja, we realized, kwanza number one, Joyce ni kimdomo. He was a banker. Unaona banker na media person?
Not
Kiwezani hata kidogo.
Yes.
So pole tu we realized our incompatibility ilikuwa we were never friends. Because if we were friends, I'm sure angenisikia time yenye niliendaga kumchukua kwenye alikuwa. Nilienda nikamuuliza, have you lost your mind? So for him, ukimuuliza hivyo sasa na kukasirikia zaidi. Alafu amuongei. Even me, I think kuna vitu alitaka nielewe, sielewi. So I keep telling people, marry your friend. A person when everything else crumbles, the friendship stands.
Good.
That's your friend.
You see why I told you, ili come to hivi tu.
Siwacha tu niende
aki. So si uendo salimie Jakes, Walter,
Jakes hii wiki yote yako. Wana earn lini?
Wana pesa zao inakam
by fast inakuwa imefika.
Yes.
Sasa aki earn huwa na siku 3 simuoni.
Wow.
I'm telling you, unajua mnaonaga kama ni
ni jokes.
Jakes sikumuona 25th. Alipotea 22nd, alirudi 27th. Namuuliza Jakes, hata kupotea hizi siku zingine zote ni sawa. 25th ulikuwa kwa wenyewe. Ulienda siku ya Christmas
kwa wenyewe.
Kwa wenyewe.
Kai.
Jakes.
Hey.
He takes off.
Yes.
Aki earn.
That's it.
Jakes.
Yeah, wacha watu.
Ukianza lakini nimesema nimpe miezi 6 ajibonde.
Wacha watu watumie pesa yao vizuri.
After 6 months.
Yes, aone life.
Kanyaga nje.
Bro, enda uchukue.
Sina kiti. Enda usave mshahara. Ununue kiti.
Nunua kiti.
Sina. Enda uanzie nini hapo. No, usimhurumie. Nishamuonya, nilimwambia Jakes. Hii ni mwezi ya 4. Hata sijaiona hata ndururu yenye unaleta kwa hii nyumba na mimi sitaki unipe. I hope you're saving your money. After 6 months.
Kanyanga nje.
Because if I don't give Jakes responsibilities, simsaidi.
No, that's true.
Hata anio pesa yake akikulaga. Akiendaga maaluta. Akiendaga sijui wapi. So, let him save, let him learn. Hiyo pesa ikikuja inapata. Kuna current mahali.
Yes.
Sijakula, aende nyumbani siku moja akute tissue iliisha.
Yes.
So, he has to learn to be responsible. So, simfukuzi ati simpendi.
Because unamsaidia.
I'm spoiling him by keeping him there with a salary.
Good.
Yeah. So wacha aende ndio hiyo pesa ipate kitu ya kufanya.
I love that. But God, we've learnt a lot from your what you've decided to share with us. We've learnt a lot from that. And imagine, I know a lot of women will just rebuild through your story. I know a lot of men are going to rebuild through your story. Our nation is going to rebuild one step at a time. Hakuna pressure.
We should not give up on it.
Yes.
Kenya is a beautiful place.
It
Lynn, ume travel. Na unaendaga huko nje unasema
I miss home the first week.
I'm telling you, unasema hii nasikiaga watu wakisema
wacha ikae.
Yeah, wacha tu
Maisha si
nirudi
London.
wapi? Exactly.
Wacha nirudi Kenya.
Kenya is a beautiful
It's
country.
beautiful.
Wacha tu tuipende.
And I
With our na weakness zetu na manini. Let us build Kenya.
I hope our leaders know that. I hope they know this is so safe for most of us. We wouldn't
I'm
want
sure they know.
Then
I'm
let
sure
them
they
do the
do.
right things. Let them do the right thing. Lakini najua sitaki tuingie kwa politics sana. Siku moja nisema nitamka niambie watu mimi narania women rep. Kutisha tu watu kidogo.
Usiwatishe, do it.
Asiwezi mimi na politics.
You have everything it takes.
Nah, but not
Wacha kuongea
that
hivyo
part.
juu sister yangu akiwatch mwingine ananiambia Joyce, uko na kila kitu. Kwa nini usisimame? Namwambia guy. Na politics mimi.
Hiyo mimi kwangu ni maji na
Wacha ni support huku nyuma.
Let me do what I can
From the background.
from the back,
Yes.
not huko. You go there, you don't come back the same person. You don't come back. But kuna wenye wamepewa hiyo grace, you know.
That's not my
so,
calling.
Me, it's not my calling. So Joyce, tumalize.
Tumemaliza.
So ambia my people bye.
Watu wa Lynn.
Na wape parting shot. Na ndio tufunge alafu tuendelee na story. So
watu wa Lynn. And everyone who is going to watch this video, thank you so much, even for your time, for watching, for listening to us, for learning. We would also want to listen to your feedback. Please be nice. Just be nice.
yes,
Tell it as it is. That's what we've just done.
done here.
We've just told it as it is.
Yes.
Tell it as it is. Achana na matusi, haitakusaidia, haitakuongezea pesa ya mboga.
Good.
Yes. And mimi, one thing, my message is always a message of hope. Do not give up. Start small where you are. Just know whatever you ask of God, He's going to give you.
Yes.
You need to believe, trust, and have faith that He's going to do it. He's done it for us. We didn't just wake up and found ourselves where we are. We have a story to tell, a story of resilience, a story of hard work. So don't expect to pray and not do anything and you expect things to happen. No, you pray and you do something. Yeah. Those people who are in a position, just mentor one or two people, give back to the society. Together, let's change this world. Let's make it a better place. And always learn how to pray. Pray. It's never in vain. Sometimes I pray even when I'm driving and I tell God, this is how I'm feeling. I'm going for Lynn's thing. Let me tell you what I was doing this morning.
Hey.
God, you know, I'm already a disappointment.
She came late.
I am late. And God forgive me because I have lied to Lynn that I'm on Forest Road.
Oh my
and
God.
And this is the time I'm leaving Kilimani.
Oh.
But then I prayed over that. I told God, Aki, God, so forgive me. You know, I've lied to Lynn. I'm on Forest Road. And I'm just leaving my house. So God, just forgive me. Lynn will understand. May I find her in a good mood. Imagine I prayed for you. I said, God, may I find her in a good mood. This is such a disappointment that my first day of interacting with her, I'm going there late. So yeah, praying. Don't complicate prayers. Prayer is talking to God. Be open with God. Lynn, I like the fact that you prayed before we started this recording. People take for granted those prayers. Please don't. Prayers move mountains.
Yes, they do.
Na si mambo ya ati praying and fasting, and it's the way you talk to God and being very sincere and open with God.
Yes.
That's what moves Him. Just pray.
Yeah. I'm glad.
And you don't need, okay, you need that place where you call you form an altar in your house where you pray from. But also you can pray anywhere, anytime. Yeah, just tell God it's okay. God, this is how I'm feeling. Me, I like it. I like just being very honest with God. I tell him, God, this is exactly how I'm feeling. Now, show me. What do I do in this situation? Even those clients ulisikia nikikwambia I give them, I tell God, God, aki, sikushiba nimeshiba sana, but allow me to download this client to someone else. Yes, I think I pray a lot. I pray.
And it kept you moving.
Yes, because once I download it to God, it stops bothering me. It only bothers me before I take it to God. But once I tell God, now this is exactly how I'm feeling. This is my son ananisumbua, God. You know, show me what to do. God, this has happened. We are going for this meeting. Please take the front seat because you know where the bumps are.
Yes.
You know the corner. You know everything. Have your space and take your place.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I'm so glad I got to do this with you.
Karibu sana.
I feel good.
I also feel so nice.
For real?
Yeah.
Honestly. Now I feel so good. I feel rejuvenated. Me and venye ulichelewa. I was just here chilling, preparing for another interview. Alafu 10 after 10 ikiwa 10 to 9 mastim zikapanda. Edgar mtu anachelewaje haki na amekuwa kwa media. Edgar ita watu wengine na anajua timekeeping. But then haikuwa, there are times I've been frustrated. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a timekeeper. There are times I've been frustrated and I've told I know he's going to watch one of the big artists in this country. I cancelled him over lateness.
Oh no.
And I was just feeling so bad and I just had to cancel that show, but for some reason me niko tu poa, like niko tu yes it has happened but we have today, so we will imagine. I just felt okay. So prayers venye zilifika huko, I was just like, I was telling my mom, but she said she's in Forest Road like 30 minutes ago. Na najua mtu akikuja tu hivyo Forest Road ni Thika Road straight. And we are here.
I lied.
No, it's okay.
Na ndio nakwambia niliomba mpaka Mungu nikamwambia, God forgive me, I've just lied.
Yeah, but
nikikwambia Forest Road. Ndio nilikuwa naingia kwa gari.
But I love that you're able to talk to God na ile vulnerability ya.
Yes.
But let's, you know, you've taught us how to easily connect with God without a lot of complications, you know.
Mwangaliaje tu kama the way you go to your mom or your dad.
We are good. Able to malize hii show. Tuko sawa?
Maliza.
Watu wa Kings, thank you for sponsoring this episode. Please ukisikia watu wanataka apartments, waambie wajaribu Kings Developers Limited. They will do the things. India, they are good people. So go check out their amazing apartments huko. And I just love that I get to walk this journey with very few sponsors. But I love that we've had this thing going on for years. Honestly, it's not like I don't want to take also other clients, but sometimes you know when to take only what you can be able to deliver and deliver well. So my people at Kings Developers Limited, thank you for walking with us through this year. It's been amazing. 2024 is already beautiful. 2023 was amazing. The feedback from you guys, the leads, I appreciate that. Go and support them. And I just want to make sure that 2024 tuliambiwa we deal with rebuilding and restoration. Sometimes we are rebuilding, sometimes ni restoration, you know. So we're gonna try and merge both of those, and also to encourage you, just keep doing what you're doing. It's working. The fact that you're still here, it's working. You know what I mean? And continue being you. Exist in your most vulnerable self. The world will deal. You just exist in your most vulnerable self, doing what you know is right, and then let the world deal with that. Let the world deal with that. Yeah. I've loved this conversation. I can imagine you are the same way I had always imagined you would be. That was good.
Asante, I'm happy.
Yes. To the team, Edgar, Sam, Muga, Kelvin, Scholar, thank you for always coming through, Mary, and the other people we don't get to mention at LNN. Appreciate it. If you want to support our work, also the details are on your screen. You want to share your story, then the email is also there on the screen and on the comment section. Give us your feedback. Sawa sawa. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. God willing. Let's continue impacting the society one story at a time. You can find Joyce on her socials. They are also on the screen. Also pinned on the comment section are ways that you can aja uliza yata sijui kama hata nataka mfuate kwa social media lakini
wewe waambie tu wanifuate wewe.
Basi go ni venye yenye miss kwana. Go support her. Edgar says, Lynn, just maliza. So I'm done. It's been real. May God bless you. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
God bless you.